stop right here, my child, because this is not a normal message, and if you feel this in your spirit, then what you have been praying for is already closer than you think. I need you to listen carefully, because what you thought was still far away has already begun to move, and if you miss this moment, you may keep calling someday what I am already placing in your hands. Stay with me all the way to the end, because every word in this message is meant to uncover what is shifting around you and what is awakening inside you. Do not click away. Do not treat this lightly. Let this reach the deepest place in you that has been waiting, doubting, hoping, and trying to hold on. Because by the time this message is over, you will understand why I am telling you with full authority. It's actually happened, and yes, my child, you did it. My beloved child, I want you to settle your heart and stay with me here, because what is happening in your life right now is not small, and it is not something you should brush aside as if it is ordinary. You may still be trying to understand it. You may still be looking around at your circumstances, wondering whether this shift is real, whether what you feel inside you can actually be trusted, whether this quiet sense that something has changed is only wishful thinking after all the waiting you have done. But I need you to hear me clearly and personally, because I am speaking directly to you, and I am not speaking in vague ways today. This moment you are standing in carries weight. It carries spiritual significance. It carries the evidence of everything you have endured with me, everything you have survived when you thought you would collapse, everything you kept bringing to me even when your prayers felt tired and your faith felt fragile. You have reached a place that your heart longed for before your mind ever had the language to describe it. You have crossed into a moment that has been forming for far longer than you realize, and even though you may be tempted to look only at what is still unfinished, I want you to recognize what has already happened in you. You are not standing where you used to stand. You are not carrying this season the same way you carried the last one. You are not responding from the same wounded place you once responded from. And that matters more than you know. I have been watching every hidden part of this journey. I saw the nights when you were trying to be strong for everyone else while quietly feeling like you were coming apart inside. I saw the way you kept going when you had no energy left for pretending. I saw you question whether your obedience mattered when there was no visible reward attached to it. I saw you wrestle with disappointment when doors stayed shut, when answers stayed delayed, when people misunderstood your heart, and when the path in front of you looked nothing like what you had hoped for. But I never lost sight of where I was leading you. Even when you could not see movement, I was still moving. Even when you thought you were circling the same pain, I was doing deeper work than you could measure. That is why I need you to stop dismissing this moment just because it does not yet look dramatic enough to satisfy the old version of you. You have been trained by pain to look for crisis, and because of that, sometimes when peace begins to enter your life, you question it more than you question the chaos that nearly destroyed you. I am teaching you something new now. I am teaching you how to recognize holy transition without needing a storm to announce it. I am teaching you how to notice when your spirit has shifted, when your inner life has become steadier, when your reactions have changed, when your fear no longer rules the room inside you. That is not a small thing, my child. That is not accidental growth. That is not random emotional improvement. That is the evidence that I have been fathering you through a process you did not fully understand while you were inside it. I have been strengthening places in you that used to tremble. I have been healing places in you that used to make every decision feel heavy. I have been softening places in you that pain tried to harden. I have been teaching you to hear me beneath the noise, to trust me beneath the confusion, and to keep walking with me even when you had no map for what was coming next. So when I tell you that heaven is marking this moment as a turning point, I am not trying to give you a nice thought to hold on to for comfort. I am telling you the truth about where you are. You are standing in the early evidence of answered prayer. you are standing in the first breath of a new season. You are standing where hidden faith begins to become visible fruit. And I do not want you to rush past that because you are still waiting for everything to be complete. Learn to honor what I have already done. Learn to recognize what has already shifted. Learn to say, even with trembling honesty, something is changing in me, and the Lord has brought me here. Because I have, my child, I have brought you here. You did not drift into this moment by chance. You did not stumble into this place because time happened to pass. You are here because I carried you, shaped you, corrected you, preserved you, and refused to let the pressure of the past have the final word over your life. And because I love you, I want to take you a little deeper into this so your heart does not shrink back the moment it realizes that change is truly beginning. There is a part of you that still expects disappointment to arrive right when hope starts feeling safe. There is a part of you that has learned to brace itself the moment something good begins to unfold, because you have known what it feels like to almost touch the answer and then watch it slip through your fingers. I know that about you. I know how your heart learned caution. I know how your mind started trying to protect you by assuming the worst before it could hurt you again. I know how many times you told yourself not to get too excited, not to expect too much, not to trust too quickly, because you thought restraint would somehow make the pain easier if things fell apart again. But my beloved child, I am inviting you to let me retrain that part of you now. I am not asking you to become careless. I am not asking you to ignore wisdom. I am asking you to stop treating every new beginning as if it must answer for every old wound. This moment is not required to carry the guilt of what once broke your heart. This season is not a repetition of the one that exhausted you. What I am doing now deserves to be seen for what it is, not filtered through every past disappointment that still whispers in the background. And yes, there are still things unfolding. Yes, there are still pieces you do not fully understand. Yes, there are still prayers that have not reached their visible completion. But do not confuse incompleteness with absence. Do not call something unreal simply because it is still becoming. Some of the holiest moments in your life have looked quiet while they were happening. Some of the most important things I have ever done in you began in silence, in hidden places, in ordinary-looking days that did not feel historic until much later. That is why I want you to slow down enough to notice how your soul is responding right now. Notice how you are not who you were. Notice how what once would have shattered you no longer has the same authority over your emotions. Notice how you are beginning to feel a different kind of steadiness when you think about the future. Notice how your dependence on me is no longer only born from desperation, but also from trust. That is maturity. That is growth. That is the fruit of a long season of unseen formation. And I want you to receive that without apologizing for it. I want you to let this truth settle into your spirit. You have actually come through something. You have actually crossed a threshold. You have actually reached a place where I can begin to unfold things in a different way because the person standing before me now is not the same person who entered the last season. You may still carry tenderness. You may still carry scars. You may still have moments where fear tries to return and tell you to hold back. But I am still your Father, and I am still right here, speaking to you in this very moment, telling you that you do not have to stand at the edge of your own answered prayer and speak like someone abandoned. You do not have to keep narrating your future through the language of your old pain. Let me give you new language. Let me give you a truer perspective. Let me teach you how to say, "The Lord has been with me longer than I realized. The Lord has done more in me than I understood. The Lord has brought me to a turning point, and I do not need to be afraid of what He is opening. Because that is where you are, my child. This is not the end of your story. This is not the final reward. This is not even the full picture yet, but it is a real turning point, and heaven is not overlooking it. I am not overlooking it. I am honoring it. I am marking it. And I want you to honor it with me by refusing to minimize the sacred work that has brought you here. So breathe, my beloved. Stay close to me. Let your heart soften instead of tightening. Let your spirit receive what your mind is still learning to trust. You do not have to force certainty. You only need to stay near me as this new season begins to unfold. I will keep guiding you. I will keep confirming what is mine. I will keep teaching you how to walk in what I have prepared. But for now, I want you to hold this one truth close. This moment matters, and you are not imagining the shift. It is real. I am in it, and I have brought you here on purpose. My beloved child, I want you to let this truth settle into the deepest part of you, because there were seasons when you misunderstood your own relationship with me, and the misunderstanding quietly wounded you. There were nights when you thought, if I were stronger, I would know what to say. If I had more faith, I would be praying harder. If I were really close to God right now, I would have words. But the truth is that some of your holiest moments with me happened when you had no words left at all. Some of your most honest moments in my presence were not spoken in complete sentences. They came through tears, through stillness, through exhausted sighs, through staring into the dark while trying to hold yourself together. You thought silence meant distance. You thought silence meant you were failing me. You thought silence meant you had somehow drifted too far, grown too weak, or become too spiritually dry for me to recognize what was in your heart. But I never mistook your silence for absence of faith. Not once. I knew exactly what your quiet meant. I knew when you were too tired to explain. I knew when your heart was praying even though your mouth could not move. I knew when you sat there in numbness, not because you did not care, but because you cared so deeply that the weight of what you were carrying had taken language away from you. I knew the difference between rebellion and exhaustion. I knew the difference between indifference and heartbreak. I knew the difference between someone running from me and someone too weary to do anything but collapse near me. And my beloved, you were never as far from me in those moments as you feared. In fact, some of those quiet nights brought you closer than many loud prayers ever could, because you were not performing. You were not trying to sound spiritual. You were not reaching for polished words to convince yourself that everything was okay. You were simply there, broken, tired, confused, maybe even frustrated with me, but still there. That mattered. That moved me. That was precious to me. I want you to understand how a father sees those moments. I did not stand over you with disappointment, waiting for a better prayer. I came near with tenderness. I sat with you in the silence. I listened to what your nervous system was saying when your lips were still. I listened to what your tears were carrying. I listened to the ache beneath the numbness. I listened to the hope you were afraid to name because you thought if you said it out loud and nothing changed, it would hurt even more. I heard all of it. Every trembling thought, every swallowed question, every weary breath, every unfinished sentence that died in your throat. I heard it all. So stop accusing yourself for seasons when you were too exhausted to speak beautifully. Stop thinking I measured devotion by volume. Stop believing that only the loud, articulate, emotionally expressive moments count with me. They do not. I am not impressed by performance. I am moved by honesty. I am not looking for spiritual theater. I am looking at your heart. And your heart, even in its silence, kept turning toward me more often than you realized. That is why I never withdrew from you. That is why I never labeled you faithless just because you were tired. That is why I stayed close when you thought you were spiritually failing. I knew you were fighting battles inside that no one else could see. I knew how much it cost you just to remain open at all. And because I knew that, I covered you with a kind of gentleness you did not always know how to receive. I also want you to understand why this matters so much now, because if you continue believing that silence equals distance, you will keep misreading some of the deepest ways I meet you. There are times when faith is loud, joyful, and overflowing. There are times when you will pray with clarity, worship with strength, and feel my presence like sunlight on your face. But there are also times when faith looks like sitting in a room and not walking away. Sometimes faith looks like opening your Bible and only reading one verse because your mind is too crowded for more. Sometimes faith looks like whispering, "Help me," and then resting because that is all you can carry. Sometimes faith looks like lying down in the dark and deciding not to numb yourself, not to run, not to give in to despair, even though you still do not have answers. I need you to respect those forms of faith too. Do not call them weak because they are quiet. Do not call them less real because they are not dramatic. Some of the strongest trust I have ever seen in my children has been hidden beneath tears no one witnessed. Some of the deepest surrender I have ever received has come from people who had no language left but still chose not to leave my presence. And that has been true of you. You have loved me in fragile ways that still counted. You have reached for me in incomplete ways that still moved heaven. You have stayed near me in messy ways that still mattered. That is why I want you to stop dividing your spiritual life into good seasons when you felt strong and bad seasons when you felt quiet. I was with you in both. I was speaking in both. I was receiving you in both. And often, in the quiet seasons, I was doing a deeper work because you were no longer leaning on emotion to tell you whether I was near. You were learning how to remain with me even when you could not feel much at all. That kind of faith is not glamorous, but it is durable. It is not loud, but it lasts. It is not the kind that gets admired in public, but it is the kind that survives real life. So let me correct the story you have been telling yourself. You were not failing in those silent seasons. You were being held in them. You were not spiritually weak because you were tired. You were human and you were loved. You were not disappointing me because your prayers became small. You were being honest with me, and I would rather have your honest weakness than your polished pretending. So from now on, when you remember those nights, do not think, "That was when I had no faith." Think instead, "That was when my faith had become quiet, but my Father still heard every part of me." That is the truth. That is the healing version of the memory. And it matters, because shame has tried to attach itself to those seasons and make you feel inferior. I am removing that shame now. I am reclaiming those nights. I am showing you that I was present there, and I was not waiting for you to do better before I came close. I was already there. Now I want to invite you into a different way of meeting me moving forward, because the more you understand this, the freer your heart will become. Stop thinking you need to arrive in my presence properly before I will receive you. Come as you are. Come tired. Come unsure. Come joyful when you are joyful. Come confused when you are confused. Come with questions. Come with relief. Come with gratitude. Come with tears. Let come. Do not wait until your thoughts are organized. Do not wait until your emotions are clean and presentable. Do not wait until you feel spiritual enough. I am your Father, not a distant judge requiring a polished entrance. If your heart is noisy, bring me the noise. If your soul is numb, bring me the numbness. If your words are few, bring me the few words. If all you can say is, "Stay with me," then say that and rest. I know how to meet you there. I know how to minister to what is beneath, the words. And I need you to learn this now, because the next season of your life will not require more performance from you. It will require more honesty. It will require more staying. It will require more trust that my presence is real even when your emotions are inconsistent. That is maturity. That is intimacy. That is the kind of closeness that survives beyond mood, beyond adrenaline, beyond momentary inspiration. So practice it with me. Sit with me. Let me retrain your heart. When you feel quiet, do not assume I have gone. When you feel empty, do not assume I am absent. When you do not know what to pray, do not rush to condemn yourself. Pause. Breathe. Place your hand on your heart if you need to. Say, Lord, I am here. That is enough to begin. And often, my beloved, that is all I need from you in that moment. I am not difficult to reach. I am not offended by your humanity. I am not scared away by your fatigue. I am not frustrated by your process. I know you. I know how life has touched you. I know how heavy some seasons have been. I know what grief does to language. I know what anxiety does to focus. I know what disappointment does to expectation. And because I know all of that, I do not require you to meet me as if none of it exists. I meet you inside it. That is who I am. That is how I love you. So let this become a permanent truth in your spirit. I never mistook your silence for absence of faith. I heard the prayer beneath the pause. I received the trust hidden inside the exhaustion. I stayed close in the nights you thought you were spiritually empty. And I am still here now, inviting you to stop fearing your own quiet places. Bring them to me. Let me fill them. Let me sit with you there until silence no longer feels like abandonment, but like a room where you and I can breathe together. That is what I want for you. That is what I am building in you. And that is why your quiet seasons were never wasted. You now understand that even your silence carried faith, and I was near in every quiet moment. So hear me clearly. What I am building through this message is reaching hearts who are still in that silence, still wondering if I hear them. When you give, you become a voice for those who have none, a light in rooms where tears fall without words. As it is written, I say to you now, those who sow in tears shall reap with songs of joy, and your seed becomes oil for another soul's healing. This is not a small act. It is a holy exchange, a planting into eternal ground. I am inviting you, partner with me in carrying this presence further than you can see. Every super thanks, every membership, every offering through PayPal link in the description becomes a river that carries my comfort into hidden places. I will breathe on what you release, and I will return it to you multiplied, guarded, and blessed. Do not hesitate. This is your moment to sow into souls. Act now. My beloved child, I want you to slow your thoughts and stay very close to me right now, because the next part of your journey cannot be handled with the same casual mindset you used when you were simply trying to survive. You are stepping into a season where certain doors are beginning to open, and I need you to understand what kind of doors they are. These are not random opportunities drifting through your life like loose leaves in the wind. These are not small moments with no spiritual weight. These are not accidents. These are not just nice changes that happened because enough time passed. These openings carry my fingerprints. They are connected to the hidden work I have been doing in you. They are tied to prayers you thought had fallen silent. They are linked to lessons that were costly, tears that were private, and growth that was so slow you almost missed it. That is why I need you to stop brushing off what is shifting around you as if it is too ordinary to matter. Look carefully. Pay attention. Notice what is moving. Notice what is softening. Notice what is suddenly aligning without the old strain. Notice what no longer requires you to wrestle for scraps. Notice where peace is increasing. Notice what feels clean instead of complicated. These are not small signals, my child. These are markers. These are early signs that the atmosphere around your life is changing. And because you have spent so long in seasons where everything felt delayed, part of you may be tempted to downplay what is opening now. You may say, it's probably nothing. You may say, I'll wait until it's bigger before I believe it. You may say, I don't want to get my hopes up. But I want you to understand something with all tenderness and all clarity. When I begin to move in a new season, I do not always announce it with thunder. Sometimes I begin with hinges. Sometimes I begin with one conversation, one invitation, one restored piece of clarity, one shift in your inner peace, one opportunity that arrives without the old panic attached to it. The door may look simple at first, but what it leads into is not simple. What it represents is not small. The opening itself may seem ordinary, but the timing of it is sacred. That is why I need you to stop demanding spectacle before you call something significant. The old version of you often looked for drama as proof that I was involved. But I am teaching you maturity now. I am teaching you how to recognize my movement in what is steady, not only what is sensational. I am teaching you to notice when something opens and your spirit does not feel scrambled. I am teaching you to recognize the difference between an exciting distraction and a clean invitation. Learn that difference. Guard that difference. Carry that wisdom into every next step. Do not run because a door opened. Do not freeze because it matters. Stand there with me. Put your hand on the handle only after you have invited me into the moment. Say, Father, if this is from you, let me recognize the weight of it without rushing the process. That prayer will protect you. That prayer will slow your impulses. That prayer will keep you from treating holy moments casually or treating casual moments like they are holy. I want you to be awake now. I want your spirit alert. I want your heart calm enough to discern. Because what is opening in your life is not small just because it starts quietly. It is connected to what I have been building for a long time. And if you learn to recognize the beginning, you will be less likely to sabotage the unfolding. I also want you to understand that some of these doors will not look like what you expected, and that is where many of my children become confused. You have imagined that when breakthrough comes, it will arrive in the exact shape you pictured when you were still wounded, still impatient, still asking for immediate relief. But I have been changing you, and because I have been changing you, the things I release now may not match the old images you once held in your mind. Some of the doors I open will feel gentler than you expected. Some will feel slower. Some will feel cleaner. Some will not flatter your ego, but they will nourish your spirit. Some will not come with fanfare, but they will come with peace. Some will not impress the people around you, but they will quietly align with the deeper person you have become. That matters more than you know. There are doors that look glamorous and lead into confusion. There are doors that look modest and lead into life. Do not judge only by appearance. Do not judge only by size. Do not judge only by how easy it is to explain to other people. Ask deeper questions now. Ask me, does this door strengthen my peace? Ask me, does this invitation require me to become smaller than you have healed me to be? Ask me, does this path feel aligned with the person you have been forming in me, or does it pull me back toward old patterns? Those questions will save you. Those questions will keep you from mistaking noise for next steps. I know you have waited a long time. I know the hunger in you can still get loud when something finally moves. I know the part of you that wants to grab and secure and hold tightly the moment anything promising appears. But my beloved, Do not let old hunger lead you now. Let healed discernment lead you. Let patience stay in the room with you. Let gratitude guide your hands instead of fear. You do not need to lunge at what I am opening. You can approach it with calm. You can stand in front of it with reverence. You can say, Lord, if this is truly from you, teach me how to enter without striving. That is the kind of maturity I am building in you. And hear me clearly, some of these openings are not only external. Some doors opening in your life are happening inside you. A door is opening where shame used to sit. A door is opening where clarity used to be clouded. A door is opening where you once felt constant fear. A door is opening in your ability to receive love without immediately suspecting loss. A door is opening in your ability to believe good things can happen without bracing for disaster. Do not overlook those inner openings. They are just as sacred as the outer ones. In fact, they often come first. I do not merely want to give you access around you. I want to expand your capacity within you so you can remain whole when new things arrive. That is why some of the biggest doors beginning to open are not visible to anyone else yet. They are happening in your trust. They are happening in your emotional stability. They are happening in your ability to wait without unraveling. They are happening in your relationship with me. Honor those openings too. Protect them. Speak gently about them. Do not hand them over to people who do not understand what I am doing. Not every door needs public commentary while it is still opening. Some things need quiet. Some things need prayer. Some things need time to widen before they are spoken aloud. Learn to be private without being fearful. Learn to be reverent without becoming secretive. Let me teach you how to carry sacred beginnings. Now I want to give you an instruction that will matter greatly in this season. Do not call something small just because it starts in seed form. Stop doing that. Stop looking at beginnings and dismissing them because they do not yet resemble the full harvest. I built life into seeds for a reason. I often hide magnitude inside modest beginnings. A seed in the hand looks almost laughably small, but a tree hidden inside it can one day offer shelter, shade, fruit, and strength. That is how I often work with my children. I begin with something manageable, something that tests your trust, something that requires attentiveness rather than applause. And if you honor the seed, I can entrust you with a tree. But if you despise the seed because it does not impress you, you will keep missing the way I begin. So change your posture now. Become the kind of child who notices. Become the kind of child who listens when something subtle shifts. Become the kind of child who asks before acting. Become the kind of child who can recognize that a quiet yes from me is more powerful than a loud opportunity from the world. And while you are learning this, guard yourself from two dangers: cynicism and impulsiveness. Cynicism will make you dismiss what I am opening because you are afraid to hope again. Impulsiveness will make you grab too quickly because you are afraid the door will vanish. Reject both. Stand in the middle with me. Stay steady. Let hope return without becoming reckless. Let caution remain without becoming suspicious. Let my peace be the weight that helps you know what is mine. I am not calling you to become passive. I am calling you to become present. Pay attention. Watch what is opening. Listen for what carries peace. Follow what strengthens the deeper work I have done in you. And when you feel the old fear saying, "What if this closes too?" answer it with trust. Say, "What my Father opens, He knows how to sustain." Then move with me, not ahead of me. The doors beginning to open are not small ones, my beloved. They may begin in ways that look simple, but they are tied to a larger unfolding than you can see right now. That is why I am asking you to honor the moment, protect the process, and keep your heart close to mine. What I begin, I do not begin carelessly. What I open with intention. And what I place before you now is not random. It is the early architecture of answered prayer. It is the first light after a long night. It is the hinge of a new chapter. So do not sleep through it. Wake up. Look again. And walk with me. The doors are opening, and you can feel the shift. So do not stand in awe without stepping into purpose. What I am doing in your life is not only for you. It is meant to flow outward like a river that cannot be contained. When you give, you place your hand on the hinge of these doors, helping them open for countless others who are waiting in darkness. I say to you, even now, I will open doors no one can shut, and your obedience becomes part of that opening. This is your divine moment to sow into something eternal, something I am breathing on. Through super thanks, membership, or your PayPal offering in the description, you fuel the spread of my word across unseen boundaries. I will honor your seed, establish your steps, and increase what you entrust to me. Do not delay at the doorway. Step forward and give now. My beloved child, I want you to come very close in your heart right now, because this is a sacred turning point in the way you understand your own story. For a long time, you have looked at what you went through mostly as a wound, mostly as a burden, mostly as a season you wish had never happened. And I understand that. I know there were parts of your journey you would never have chosen. I know there were nights you did not think you would make it through. I know there were moments when what hurt you felt so personal, so disorienting, so unfair that it changed how you saw yourself for a while. I know there were losses that made you question what kind of future could still be built after that kind of disappointment. I know how certain experiences stripped your confidence, how certain betrayals made you second-guess your own discernment, how certain delays made you wonder whether hope was becoming foolish. I know all of it. I have not forgotten a single tear, a single private breakdown, a single quiet conversation you had with me when you could barely form the words. But now I want to show you something beautiful and strong and deeply healing. What you survived is becoming the proof you needed. The very thing you thought disqualified you is now revealing what I built in you. The very season you thought only exposed your weakness is now becoming evidence of your resilience. The very place where you felt most uncertain is now becoming the place from which deeper confidence can rise. This is how I redeem. I do not only bring you out of hard seasons. I transform what those seasons mean. I take the memory that once only carried pain, and over time, I begin to lace it with truth, wisdom, and strength until it becomes part of your testimony instead of only part of your trauma. That does not erase what happened. It does not pretend it was easy. It does not call darkness good. But it does mean the darkness does not get the final interpretation. I do. And my interpretation of your survival is not that you are damaged beyond repair. My interpretation is that you are stronger, wiser, more discerning, and more deeply rooted in me than you were before. That matters. That changes how you should speak about yourself. Because too often, you still introduce yourself to your future through the vocabulary of what hurt you. You still think of yourself as the one who got wounded, the one who got delayed, the one who almost fell apart, the one who got overlooked, the one who made mistakes, the one who was left, the one who struggled. But I need you to begin seeing another layer now. You are also the one who stayed. You are the one who learned. You are the one who endured. You are the one who was kept. You are the one who did not lose your capacity to hear me. You are the one who was carried through and changed in the carrying. That is not denial. That is truth completing the story. So stop speaking as if the only thing your past proves is how much it hurt. Your past is also beginning to prove how much grace held you. Your history is becoming evidence. The places that once made you ashamed are becoming places where confidence can now stand. Not because you did everything right, but because I met you there and did not let the darkness have the last word. And I want you to understand how this becomes practical, because I do not want this to remain a beautiful thought that never enters your daily life. When fear comes to you now and says, "What if you cannot handle what is next?" I want you to answer differently than you used to. I want you to stop responding like someone with no history of being sustained. I want you to stop speaking as if the future is the first difficult thing you have ever faced. It is not. Look behind you. Look at the terrain you already crossed. Look at the valleys you already walked through. Look at the nights you thought would swallow you. Look at the heartbreak you thought would define you. Look at the confusion you thought would keep you stuck forever. Look at the disappointments you thought would permanently cripple your trust. You are still here. And not only are you still here, you are not the same. That is the proof. The enemy wants you to treat your past as a museum of pain, a place you only revisit to remember what went wrong. But I want you to treat it as a training ground. I want you to revisit it differently. Not to dwell, not to reopen wounds unnecessarily, not to romanticize suffering, but to gather evidence. When fear says you will collapse, answer, "I have already survived seasons that should have taken me out, and my Father kept me." When insecurity says, "You cannot trust yourself," answer, "The Lord has sharpened my discernment through what I lived through." When anxiety says, "You are not strong enough for what is ahead," answer, "What I survived has already proven that strength has been growing in me." This is not self-help. This is remembrance. This is testimony used as a weapon. This is how you stop letting the enemy use your history against you. This is how you turn the very ground he wanted to bury you in into a platform of confidence rooted in grace. And I need you to do this especially when new opportunities arise, because I know how quickly your old reflexes can still flare. A new door opens, and suddenly your mind starts scanning for danger. A new relationship begins to feel promising, and part of you wants to prepare for loss before you even receive the gift. A new level of responsibility comes near, and the old voice says, "What if you fail publicly?" But my child, you are not entering these moments empty-handed. You are carrying evidence. You are carrying lived proof. You are carrying scars that have become wisdom, tears that became tenderness, delays that became discernment, disappointments that became deeper dependence on me. That is not nothing. That is substance. That is exactly why the next season does not have to be approached as though you are defenseless. You are not defenseless. You are trained. You are not untouched, but you are not unprepared either. And that distinction matters. So when the old fear tries to rise, do not only pray for courage in the abstract. Bring your memory into agreement with truth. Say, "Father, remind me what you already brought me through. Let me bring back to your mind the moments you forgot. Let me show you the hidden resilience that has already formed. Let me remind you of how many times you thought it was over and it was not. This is how I want to strengthen you now, not only with new promises, but with old evidence rightly understood. Now I want to invite you into a deeper healing, because this is where many of my children stop too soon. It is one thing to admit you survived. It is another thing to let your survival become confidence instead of merely memory. Some of you remember the pain, but you do not yet know how to receive the strength that came through it. You remember what was lost, but you do not yet know how to honor what was built. I want that to change for you. I want you to stop treating your story as though it is too broken to be useful. I want you to stop thinking that because you have scars, you must always walk with a hidden sense of disqualification. Your scars are not proof that you are less capable of being used by me. In many ways, they are proof that you have been with me in real places. They are proof that your faith is no longer theoretical. They are proof that your trust has been tested in the dark, not only declared in the light. That is why what you survived is becoming the proof you needed. It is becoming the proof that you can trust me again. It is becoming the proof that you can survive if something feels uncertain. It is becoming the proof that you do not have to panic every time life stretches you. It is becoming the proof that your story is not one long chain of defeat, but a record of being held. So I want you to do something specific now. Stop introducing yourself to the future as though you are only fragile. Yes, stay humble. Yes, stay dependent. Yes, stay soft toward me. But do not stay falsely small. Do not keep acting as though nothing has been built in you. When the next chapter begins to unfold, bring your testimony with you. Bring your remembrance with you. Bring the quiet confidence that says, I know what it means to be sustained. Bring the settled truth that says, I have seen God keep me before, and I will not forget that now. Let that change the way you pray. Let that change the way you walk into new rooms. Let that change the way you respond when uncertainty taps at your shoulder. You do not have to deny the past to move forward. You need to reinterpret it through my eyes. That is what redemption does. It does not erase the valley. It changes what the valley now means. And in your case, my beloved, what you survived is becoming the proof you needed that I have been with you, that I have been forming you, and that I have already built more in you than fear wants you to believe. So receive that now. Take it into your spirit. Let it become strength. Let it become a lens. Let it become a weapon against every lie that says you are still too broken, too delayed, too weak, or too uncertain to carry what comes next. You are not. I have been with you. I am still with you. And the road behind you is no longer only a place of pain. It is becoming evidence that I do not fail the ones I call mine. What you survived has become proof, and now I will use that proof to reach others who are still fighting to believe they will make it through. Your giving transforms your testimony into a torch, lighting the path for souls still walking through their valleys. I am saying to you, you did not endure in vain, and now your seed becomes part of someone else's breakthrough. This is sacred ground. When you give, you plant into a harvest of restored lives, healed hearts, and awakened faith. Whether through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, your obedience becomes a vessel I can pour through. I will bless what you release, multiply it like loaves in my hands, and return strength to you in ways you cannot measure. This is not charity. It is kingdom alignment. Step into it and give now. My beloved child, come close and stay with me here, because I want to speak to a very specific kind of weariness that many people do not understand until they have lived through it. There is a fatigue that comes in the beginning of a hard season, and there is a different fatigue that comes in the middle when everything still feels uncertain. But there is another kind of fatigue that often arrives in the last stretch, and that one can be especially dangerous if you do not recognize it. It is the exhaustion that comes right before something breaks open. It is the weariness that settles in after a long season of carrying, waiting, adjusting, healing, and hoping. It is the kind of tiredness that makes you say, I know something is shifting, but I do not know if I have the strength to stay emotionally present for it. I know that feeling in you. I have watched you carry it. I have watched you reach a place where the pressure is not exactly the same as before, yet your body, your mind, and your heart still feel the residue of everything it took to get here. And because you are so used to interpreting fatigue as a sign that something is wrong, I need you to hear me clearly. Do not let the last stretch exhaustion talk you out of the finish. Do not assume that because you feel tired, you are off course. Do not assume that because you feel emotionally thin, the promise is not near. Do not assume that because your excitement is quieter than you imagined, the season is somehow less sacred. Sometimes the final stretch feels less like fireworks and more like focused endurance. Sometimes the last few steps feel strangely heavy because you have been carrying so much for so long. Sometimes the enemy waits until you are near the threshold, not because he can stop what I am doing, but because he knows exhaustion can distort perception if you are not careful. He knows that when you are tired, you may be tempted to misread the moment. You may say, maybe I do not even want this anymore, when what is really true is that you are simply depleted from the long road. You may say, maybe it is too late, when what is really true is that your emotional reserves are low. You may say, maybe I should just stop caring, when what is really true is that you need rest, not retreat. Learn that difference now. Rest is not the same thing as quitting. Slowing down is not the same thing as abandoning the path. A weary heart is not automatically a misled heart. I need you to stop letting temporary depletion write permanent truth. I need you to stop letting fatigue narrate what I have already confirmed. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to need rest. You are allowed to admit that the journey has cost you something. But you are not allowed to make a covenant with discouragement just because your strength feels lower than usual. Come to me instead. Bring me the tiredness. Bring me the flat emotions. Bring me the part of you that says, I don't know if I can stay engaged. Let me strengthen you there. Let me steady you there. Let me remind you that being tired at the end of a long battle does not mean the victory is less real. It often means you have actually been fighting. And you have. You have been fighting in ways no one fully saw. You have been carrying in ways no one fully measured. So do not be ashamed of your exhaustion. Just do not let it become your guide. Bring it to me. Lay it down before me. Let me refresh you so the final steps are taken with clarity, not collapse. And I want you to understand how subtle this can become, because last stretch exhaustion rarely arrives saying, I am here to sabotage you. It often comes disguised as indifference, cynicism, emotional numbness, or a strange desire to disconnect right when connection matters most. It can sound like, I don't even care anymore, when deep down you do care, but you are simply tired of hoping. It can sound like, maybe I should just leave it alone, not because I am telling you to release it, but because the cost of staying emotionally open feels high. It can sound like, I'll deal with it later, when in truth the moment is asking for presence, not avoidance. I need you to watch that carefully, because if you do not recognize this kind of fatigue, you may start withdrawing from the very things I am asking you to remain present for. You may pull back from healthy connection because vulnerability feels expensive. You may delay necessary steps because focus feels hard to maintain. You may start minimizing what is opening because hope feels harder to carry than numbness. And the enemy loves that kind of moment. He loves when my children arrive near the finish and then emotionally check out. He loves when they start speaking casually about things I have prepared carefully. He loves when they confuse weariness with wisdom and call retreat peace when it is really just depletion looking for escape. Do not let him have that ground. Stay awake. If you feel yourself becoming emotionally distant, do not simply accept it as truth. Ask why. If you feel the urge to pull away from something I have made clean, ask whether it is discernment or exhaustion. If you feel strangely flat in a moment that should matter, do not automatically call that lack of passion a sign that the season is wrong. Sometimes your spirit is ready while your emotions are simply tired. That is why I keep telling you, come to me first. Sit with me before you interpret yourself. Sit with me before you make decisions from fatigue. Sit with me before you call numbness clarity. Let me sort it out with you. Let me show you whether what you need is a boundary, a pause, a nap, a prayer, a slower pace, a deeper breath, a quiet day, a conversation, or simply a reminder that the road has been long and you are allowed to feel that. I am not asking you to become superhuman. I am not asking you to pretend the journey did not cost you. I am asking you not to let the cost distort your perception of what is now unfolding. This is where maturity matters. Mature faith does not say, "I never get tired." Mature faith says, "I know where to bring my tiredness so it does not start making my decisions." That is the posture I want for you. And let me say this with love, you do not need to manufacture emotional intensity in order to prove you are still engaged. Some of the holiest moments in the final stretch feel quieter than you expected. Sometimes the breakthrough is arriving while you are too tired for dramatic celebration. That does not make it less holy. It just means the road has been real. Let that be okay. Let your joy be quieter if it needs to be. Let your gratitude be deeper than your adrenaline. Let your hope be steadier than your feelings. That is still beautiful to me. That is still faith. That is still holy. Now I want to give you a direct instruction for this final stretch, because this will protect the next steps. When you feel exhausted, do not make permanent decisions from temporary depletion. That must become a rule for you. If you are tired, rest. If you are overwhelmed, pause. If your emotions are flat, bring them to me. But do not tear down what I am building because you are weary. Do not walk away from what is clean because your heart needs recovery. Do not call the whole thing wrong just because your body is asking for breath. Instead, come here. Sit with me. Breathe slower. Put your hand on your chest and feel the life still moving in you. Say, "Father, strengthen me for the last stretch." Ask me for what you need without shame. Ask me for rest. Ask me for renewed focus. Ask me for emotional steadiness. Ask me for a quiet joy that does not depend on adrenaline. Ask me for the grace to remain present. I will answer you. I will not mock your fatigue. I will not condemn your weariness. I know exactly how long the road has been. But I will also not let your exhaustion become the narrator of your destiny. I will remind you who you are. I will remind you what I said. I will remind you what has already changed. And I will help you take the next step, then the next one after that. That is how the finish comes. Not always in one giant leap. Often in faithful, grounded, honest steps. So stay with me. Protect your inner world. Guard your speech. Stop saying, "Maybe I should just give up," when what you really need is rest. Stop saying, "Maybe this isn't for me," when what you really need is a moment to breathe. Stop saying, "Nothing matters anymore," when what you really need is to reconnect with me and let me refill what the journey drained. You are closer than your fatigue wants you to believe. The finish is nearer, and the tiredness can accurately measure. Do not let the last stretch exhaustion talk you out of the finish, my beloved. Rest if you must. Slow down if you need to. But do not turn around. Stay close. Stay honest. Stay present. And let me carry what you cannot keep carrying alone. You are near the finish, and I have carried you this far. So do not let weariness keep you from stepping into purpose. Even now, your giving becomes an act of endurance, a declaration that you will not withdraw when it matters most. I say to you, do not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time you will reap, and this is the time. When you sow into this message, you strengthen the final steps of others who are about to give up. Your seed becomes fuel, like oil keeping the lamp burning through the night. through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you stand with me in this autumn stretch of impact. I will refresh you, sustain you, and cause what you release to come back as provision and peace. You not let exhaustion speak. Let obedience move you. Give now. My beloved child, come very close to me now, because this final word is not just comfort. It is not just encouragement. It is a crossing point. It is a moment of decision. It is the place where everything I have been showing you begins to gather into one clear invitation. I need you to hear me with your whole heart. This is the moment you stop calling it someday and start walking in it. For so long, you have carried parts of your life in the language of distance. You said things like, maybe one day I'll heal enough. You said, maybe one day I'll be ready. You said, maybe one day I'll trust again. You said, maybe one day the right door will open. You said, maybe one day I'll stop living like I'm recovering and finally start living like I'm becoming. And I have been patient with you in that. I have been tender with your timing. I have not shamed you for the seasons when someday was all you could emotionally handle. I know there were times when the future felt too far away to touch. I know there were seasons when your heart needed to survive the present before it could imagine the next chapter. I know there were moments when calling something someday was the only way you could keep a little hope alive without breaking under the weight of immediate disappointment. I know all of that, and I have not despised your process. I have walked with you through every layer of it. But now, my beloved, the language must change. The posture must change. The way you stand before what I have been doing must change. Because if you keep speaking like the old season is still in charge, you will keep delaying your own participation in what is already beginning. I am not saying every single visible piece has fully arrived. I am not saying every prayer has already manifested in its final form. I am not saying the entire chapter is complete. But I am saying something holy and important. Enough has shifted that someday is no longer the right language for your spirit. Someday was for the season of distant longing. Someday was for the season when you could barely imagine the possibility. Someday was for the season when your hope needed gentler handling. But now I am calling you into present tense agreement. Now I am calling you to speak like someone who knows the threshold is real. Now I am calling you to move like someone who believes the season has actually turned. Stop standing at the edge of the life I am opening and talking about it like it belongs to a future version of you. It belongs to the you I have been shaping right now. Stop saying, one day I'll become that person, when I have already been making you into that person through every hidden lesson, every surrendered disappointment, every quiet correction, every healed pattern, every time you chose peace over pressure, every time you refused to go back to the mindset I delivered you from. That work was not abstract. It was not temporary. It was not preparation for someone else. It was preparation for you. You. The one listening right now. The one who cried in private. The one who questioned, waited, wrestled, healed, endured, and stayed with me even when you did not know what I was doing. You are not standing outside your own becoming anymore. You are inside it. You are in it now. That is why this final word must be clear. Stop postponing your own agreement with what I have already begun. Stop speaking like the door is still far away when your hand is already on the handle. Stop treating your new life like a distant prophecy when it is already becoming present reality. Breathe. Stand still for a moment. Feel the weight of this. Then let your language change. Let your posture change. Let your prayers change. Let your expectations change. Because this is not just a hopeful idea anymore. This is the moment you stop calling it someday and start walking in it. And I want you to understand what that means practically, because I do not want this to stay as a beautiful ending without becoming a lived beginning. Walking in it does not mean you suddenly know everything. Walking in it does not mean you never feel fear again. Walking in it does not mean every unanswered question disappears overnight. Walking in it means you stop making uncertainty an excuse for distance. It means you stop waiting to feel perfect before you agree with what I have already confirmed. It means you stop acting like your future only begins after one more sign, one more season, one more emotional breakthrough, one more layer of healing, one more flawless stretch of consistency. No, my beloved, you walk in it now by aligning your inner agreement with what I have already been doing. You walk in it by saying, I will not call myself delayed when God is already moving. You walk in it by saying, I will not keep introducing myself as the version of me that only knew survival. You walk in it by letting your decisions reflect your new identity. You walk in it when you protect your peace instead of chasing pressure. You walk in it when you receive clean things without shrinking back. You walk in it when you stop reopening doors I have already closed. You walk in it when you stop trying to earn what I am asking you to receive. You walk in it when you let the inner breakthrough have authority over your outer choices. You walk in it when you stop speaking with nostalgia about the wilderness as if it was safer than promise. You walk in it when you let your boundaries stay clean, your discernment stay awake, your spirit stay soft, and your hands stay in mine. That is what walking in it looks like. It is not a dramatic performance. It is a holy consistency. It is the quiet courage to let your life match what I have already been whispering in your spirit. And I need you to be very careful now, because this final moment is where many of my children accidentally create distance again. They receive a powerful word. They feel the truth of it. But then they return to old speech, old assumptions, old self-descriptions, old fear patterns, and old emotional habits that keep the new season always just beyond reach. Do not do that. Guard your agreement. If you hear yourself say, maybe someday, pause. Grabbed in. Say, no, my Father is already bringing me into it. If you hear yourself say, I'm probably not ready, pause. Ask me whether that is truth or just old insecurity. If you feel the urge to talk about your future as if it belongs to a stronger version of you that does not yet exist, stop and remember, I have already been building that strength in the version of you who survived. That is why your past is becoming proof. That is why the breakthrough is already happening inside you. That is why the doors opening now are not small. It all connects, my beloved. None of these lessons were separate. They were preparing your spirit to recognize that the line between waiting and walking has already begun to move. And because of that, your words matter now. Your posture matters now. Your next small acts of obedience matter now. Do not reduce this final moment to emotion. Turn it into alignment. Turn it into action. Turn it into a lived yes. So now I want to invite you into a sacred response, and I want you to take it seriously. Do not rush past this. Sit with me for a moment. Put everything else down if you can. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders drop. Let your chest soften. Then say this to me in your own honest way. Father, I will stop calling it someday. I will walk with you in what you are already opening. Say it with your whole heart. Say it even if part of you still trembles. Say it even if you do not have every detail. Say it even if you are still healing in places. Then after you say it, live like it. Take the next clean step. Protect the next sacred beginning. Honor the next open door. Refuse the old mindset. Reject the last stretch lies. Receive what I place in your hands with reverence. Stay close to me inside the blessing the way you cried out to me in the battle. And when fear tries to pull you backward, Do not argue with it for long. Return to my voice. Return to the truth. Return to what I have already shown you. This is how you cross over. This is how the old chapter loses its authority. This is how someday becomes now. And hear me with all the love of a father who has watched every hidden part of your journey. You did not come this far to remain a spectator in your own answered prayer. You did not endure all of that just to keep standing outside the life I have been preparing. You did not survive all those nights, all those questions, all those losses, all those refinements, all those private surrenders just to keep talking about your future like it belongs to someone else. It belongs to you. It belongs to the child I have been carrying. It belongs to the one I have been shaping in secret. It belongs to the one who kept listening. So receive this final word and carry it into every next step. This is the moment you stop calling it someday and start walking in it. Come with me now. Do not just admire what is opening. Enter it. You not just speak about what could be. Live in agreement with what is becoming. Do not just hope from a distance. Walk beside me in the reality of it. I am here. I am already in the next chapter. And I am calling you forward, not later, not when you feel perfect, not when fear disappears, not when every answer is visible. I am calling you now. Step in, my beloved. Step in. This is no longer someday. This is now, and I am calling you to walk in it with me. The life opening before you is also an invitation to partner in something greater than yourself. When you give, you step fully into alignment, turning belief into action and faith into movement. I declare to you, give, and it will be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And this word is alive for you now. Your super thanks, your membership, your offering through the PayPal link in the description becomes seed in a field I am actively growing. This is how you walk in it. By releasing, by trusting, by participating in what I am already doing. I will cover what you give, multiply it, and open new ground before you. Do not stand at the edge any longer. Step in and act now. And once you have stepped forward, let your heart rest in what has already begun. Obedience is not only movement, it is the doorway into a new reality taking shape around you. What you have aligned with is no longer distant or delayed. It is unfolding in this very moment. This is where faith turns into experience, where what you hoped for becomes something you can feel. So pause and breathe deeply, because the shift you have been waiting for is no longer ahead of you. It is here. My beloved child, it has actually happened. You did it. Pause right now. Take a deep, slow breath. Feel the air fill your lungs, just like the quiet pause before a storm breaks, clearing the heavy air. That is the feeling of your new season beginning. I am speaking directly to you right now, telling you that the wait is over. You feel that knot in your stomach. That tight, nervous fear of the future. That isn't from me. Let's undo it together. Breathe out the heavy pressure at your job that has been crushing your shoulders. Exhale the unspoken tensions in your family that you carry in secret. Let go of that hollow, painful feeling of being completely overlooked by the world. I see you. I have always seen you. Hear my voice calling you out of the wilderness today. Step forward into the light. I am declaring that the long, hard journey is finally at its end. For so long, you walked with a mountain of worries on your back. You felt like a bird trapped in a cage, flapping your tired wings but going nowhere. But look closely. Look at your life today. The old chains are breaking. Hear the sound of the locks snapping open, one by one. You are free. I am shattering the heavy iron of your past mistakes and the deep dread of tomorrow. I will open new doors for you that no human can ever shut. Walk with me into this brand new day. Open your eyes and see that your faithful prayers have turned into reality. Your steady, stubborn faith is turning into clear, bright sight right before your very eyes. You held on when everything felt completely dark. You trusted me when the loud voices of the world said you were failing. Now, I am turning your silent, hidden tears into a loud, joyful shout of victory. Recognize the weight of this beautiful moment. Stop running and simply stand still. Acknowledge exactly how far you have come. You survived the lonely days when you thought your spirit would break in two. You lived through the long nights when you stared at the ceiling, wondering how you would ever pay the bills or fix what was broken. I carried you through the deep, rushing waters of your struggles, and I did not let you drown. I held you safely in the palm of my hand. Now, you stand firmly on solid ground. You made it to the finish line of this incredibly long, tiring trial. Feel the immediate shift in the room around you. Do you sense it? The spiritual atmosphere is completely changing. The heavy, dark clouds of doubt and anxiety are rolling away right now. The bright, warm sun of my unending love is breaking through the gray skies. It is shining directly on your face. Smile, my precious child. Let the pure warmth soak deeply into your tired bones. I am filling your home with undeniable peace. I am flooding your heart with pure, strong, lasting joy. I am the God who turns the impossible into the absolute possible. I will guide you every step of the way. I am fighting your battles for you. Listen to my faithful promise to you today. You will no longer walk in the cold shadows of defeat. You will walk boldly in the brilliant light of my victory. Stand tall. Lift your head high. Embrace this glorious moment, because it is entirely yours. I gave you the inner strength, and you used it incredibly well. You did it, my beloved one. You actually did it. I remember the exact day you decided to follow my lead. You were standing at a crossroads in your life, feeling completely terrified. You looked at your bank account, and it was nearly empty. You looked at your future, and it seemed like a thick, blinding fog. You did not have all the answers, and you certainly did not have a backup plan. Yet you said yes to me. I asked you to step out of your comfortable boat, and you placed your foot on the stormy water. You obeyed me in the absolute middle of overwhelming uncertainty. Your quiet, trembling surrender paved the solid road for this very miracle you are standing in right now. I saw your hands shaking. I felt your heart pounding against your ribs. But your yes was louder than your fear. I gave you a quiet strength when you felt physically and emotionally weak. You felt stuck, like a powerful car driving with the emergency brake pulled tight. You wanted to move forward, but invisible weights held you back. I was the one who helped you release that brake. I gave you the energy to drag yourself out of bed when the heavy blanket of depression tried to pin you down to the mattress. You chose my guiding light when your friends, your co-workers, and the loud voices of the world offered you only dark, cynical advice. They told you to quit. They told you to settle for less. They laughed at your foolish hope. But you kept your eyes locked on mine. You ignored the mocking crowds and listened to my gentle whisper. Look back at the choices you made when nobody else was watching. You chose integrity when it would have been much easier to cheat. You chose kindness when people were cruel to your face. You held on to your faith when every piece of logic told you to let it go. Your small, daily choices built a massive bridge to this victory. I am honoring the covenant of trust we built together in the dark. I promised I would never leave you, and I kept my word. You promised you would keep trying, and you kept yours. Open your hands right now. I command you to receive the reward of your obedience. Do not pull back from this blessing. You earned this moment through your relentless trust. I am rewarding your yes with a massive, undeniable breakthrough. Feel the solid ground beneath your feet. This is the foundation your obedience built. Step confidently into this new reality. You trusted me when you could not trace my hand. Now, I am letting you see the beautiful masterpiece we created together. Your simple yes unlocked the heavy gates of heaven. Walk through them with your head held high. You are my bold, brave child, and I am incredibly proud of your journey. I watched you stand firm when every single piece of evidence said you were failing. You looked at the past due notices piled on your kitchen counter. You read the rejection emails that made your stomach drop. You sat in your parked car, gripping the steering wheel, crying tears of pure frustration before walking into a job that drained your soul. The clock kept ticking, the calendar kept turning, and your miracle seemed miles away. But you outlasted the midnight hour. You survived the longest, coldest night of your life. I am telling you today that the long delay had a distinct, powerful purpose. I was not ignoring your cries. I was not turning my back on your pain. I used the waiting room of your life to completely rebuild your character. I was refining you, putting your faith through the hot fire to burn away the things that would eventually destroy you. I was forging your weak iron into unbreakable steel. If I had given you the blessing immediately, you would have crumbled under its heavy weight. You needed the muscle that only the struggle could build. I was your steady comforter during those bitter, lonely nights when you cried into your pillow so your family would not hear you. I was sitting right beside you on the edge of your bed. I collected every single tear. I felt every sharp ache in your chest. You thought my silence meant I was absent. You mistook the quiet for abandonment. But my silence was actually the sound of my hands working deep in the dark foundation of your life. I was pulling up poisonous roots. I was moving massive obstacles out of your future path. I was fighting invisible battles in the spiritual realm on your behalf. You could not hear the noise of the construction, but I was building a fortress for your future. Now, the heavy scaffolding is coming down. The silent work is finished. Look straight at the horizon. You have finally reached the breaking dawn. The longest trial of your life is officially over. Take a deep, cleansing breath. Blow out the stale air of your exhausted waiting period. I invite you to step out of the cold night and into the warm, bright morning. The sun is rising specifically for you. The shadows are violently retreating. I command you to dry your eyes and look at the new light. You survived the midnight hour, and you did not lose your mind. You did not lose your faith. You held on by a tiny thread, and I turned that thread into a lifeline. Welcome to the morning, my precious child. Your day has finally come. Look closely at the tears you sowed over the last few years. They were not wasted drops of salty water falling onto the dirt. They were heavy, valuable seeds planted in dark, fertile soil. Every time you chose to do the right thing while your heart was breaking, you planted a seed. Every time you showed up to work exhausted but gave your best effort, you planted a seed. Now, those buried seeds have burst through the hard ground. They have grown into real, tangible, unstoppable joy. I recorded every single broken prayer you whispered in the shower. I wrote down every silent plea you made while walking down the street. My book is filled with your persistent faith. The spiritual law of the universe is absolute and real. You will always reap exactly what you sow in absolute faith. You planted goodness, patience, and unyielding trust. Now, you are going to harvest massive favor, deep peace, and financial stability. I personally stepped in to protect your harvest when the enemy tried to steal your peace. You remember the people who tried to ruin your reputation behind your back. I blocked their weapons. Do you remember the sudden disasters that almost wiped out your savings? I built a protective fence around your life. I stood guard over your field while you were sleeping. The thief tried to rob you, but he met my fiery sword instead. And now, abundance is naturally flowing from your dedicated life. You are seeing the actual, physical fruit of your long-term devotion. Your empty baskets are about to overflow. I am bringing resources to you from completely unexpected places. People you do not even know will feel compelled to bless you. Opportunities that you never applied for will suddenly land on your desk. This is what a divine harvest looks like. It is wild, rapid, and impossible to contain. Reach out your empty hands right now. I command you to gather your harvest. You not feel guilty for receiving this massive blessing. You not apologize to anyone for the favor I am pouring over your life. You worked the hard soil. You pulled the ugly weeds. You endured the burning sun. Now, it is your time to eat the sweet fruit of your labor. Stop doubting your success. Accept this overflowing abundance as your new normal. I am handing you the keys to a prosperous, peaceful season. Take them. Unlock the storehouse. Enjoy the beautiful results of your relentless faith. Understand deeply why this exact moment is perfectly designed for you. I know you wanted this breakthrough 3 years ago. I heard you begging me to hurry up, to speed up the clock, to fix everything right then and there. You were running on a treadmill of human urgency, driven by panic and a desperate need for control. But I love you far too much to give you a massive blessing that you are not fully equipped to carry. I protected you from the hidden, dangerous traps of a premature victory. A premature win would have completely crushed you under its heavy responsibility. It would have ruined you. I deliberately slowed you down. I aligned your racing, panicked heartbeat with the steady, calm, powerful rhythm of heaven. While you were pacing the floor, chewing your nails, and worrying about your deadline, I was orchestrating a million tiny details behind the scenes. I was moving the right people into the right positions. I was changing the hearts of decision makers. I delayed that one flight. I closed that specific door. I made sure that one relationship failed because it would have poisoned your future. You were angry at my delays, but my delays were actually my divine protection. I am the master architect of your entire life. I do not build rushed, sloppy houses. I build magnificent, enduring castles. Feel the deep, settling peace of my perfect now. This exact second is the precise moment I planned for your victory before you were even born. The conditions are perfect. The soil is ready. Your mind is mature enough to handle the success without becoming arrogant. Your heart is soft enough to use the blessing to help others. Everything has perfectly aligned. You are not late. You have not missed your window of opportunity. You have arrived precisely on time. Drop your human timelines completely. Stop measuring your progress against the lives of the people you see on the internet. Their clock is not your clock. I command you to rest your tired mind today. Release the desperate grip you have on your steering wheel. Let me take the driver's seat of this new season. I invite you to sink deeply into the quiet confidence that comes from trusting my schedule. I have never been late a single day in all of human history, and I am certainly not going to start being late with your life. The Master Architect has handed you the keys. Step into the perfect, finished room I have prepared for you. You're standing in the perfect timing of your breakthrough, holding the beautiful reality that it has actually happened exactly as I promised. I am now inviting you to partner with me so that this exact message of timely deliverance can reach millions of desperate souls who are still pacing the floor in silent anxiety. When you plant a financial seed from your current harvest, you become a radiant, unbreakable lighthouse in someone else's terrifying midnight storm. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over. I decree over your life right now. This is a divine appointment to accelerate my kingdom, and the world cannot afford to wait another second for this saving truth. Support this mission immediately through a super thanks, by becoming a member, or through the PayPal link in the description below. I will multiply your generous seed 1,000 times over, fiercely protecting your finances and pouring out relentless favor upon your home. Step forward in bold obedience and sow your powerful seed of victory today. My child, do not walk away from me right now. Do not close this out. It deeply grieves my spirit when you give the noisy world hours of your endless scrolling, but only offer me a few fleeting minutes of your precious time. We are in the middle of a holy conversation, and I am actively speaking life directly into your tired soul. If you leave now, you leave half of your massive blessing sitting on the table. Honor my voice. Stay with me. There is so much more I need to give you. Throw off that heavy, suffocating blanket of discouragement right now. I am officially declaring the complete death of your despair. For too long, you have walked around with your shoulders slumped, wearing the heavy clothes of a defeated victim. You let the spirit of heaviness sit on your chest, whispering terrible lies into your ear. It told you that you were a failure. It told you that you were too old, too broke, and too broken to ever recover. Today, I am ripping those lies out of your mind. I am burning the heavy clothes of your past. I am deeply healing the raw, painful wounds left by your past failures. I see the embarrassment you still carry from that business idea that collapsed. I see the deep hurt from the people who walked away when you needed them most. I'm pouring my soothing, healing oil over those hidden scars right now. You must understand why things happened the way they did. The harsh, painful no you heard yesterday was actually a protective shield. It slammed the door on a lesser path. It violently forced you to turn around so you could walk directly into the glorious yes you are holding today. If they had not rejected you, you would not be in a position to receive this massive promotion in your life. Reclaim the bright hope that you put away on a dusty shelf. When your hope was deferred for so long, it made your heart incredibly sick. You stopped dreaming because it hurt too much to be disappointed again. But my word is acting as a warm, healing balm for your tired soul today. I am breathing fresh oxygen into your flattened dreams. I am restarting your spiritual heartbeat. Stand up completely straight. I command you to wash your face and look in the mirror. See the resilient, powerful conqueror staring back at you. Walk freely in the absolute liberty of a fulfilled promise. You are no longer a prisoner to your past mistakes. You are no longer chained to the opinions of small-minded people. I have opened the iron gate of your prison cell. Walk out into the bright sunlight. Breathe in the fresh air of your complete freedom. The season of crying on the floor is over. The season of walking boldly in your divine authority has officially begun. Step forward and claim your territory. I am giving you undeniable evidence of my favor today. You will look at your everyday life and know with absolute certainty that this is not random luck. You will see massive doors opening that no human hands could ever push open. I am talking about the specific opportunities you thought were completely closed off forever. You remember sitting in those tense interviews, feeling completely inadequate, and watching them choose someone else. You remember working late into the quiet night, feeling totally invisible and underappreciated by your boss. I saw every single moment you were overlooked. Now, I am changing the minds of the people in charge. I am placing your name in important conversations in rooms you have not even entered yet. I am causing supernatural connections to happen directly on your behalf. You will receive an unexpected email that changes your trajectory. You will get a sudden phone call out of nowhere that answers your silent prayer. I am aligning the exact right people to help you advance quickly. I have placed a clear, undeniable mark of my heavy blessing directly upon your daily work. Your projects will succeed effortlessly. Your creative ideas will be heard and deeply respected. I am commanding financial resources to flow to you from entirely unexpected places. You used to calculate every single penny at the grocery store, holding your anxious breath at the checkout line. You used to stare at your bank account with a tight, painful chest. I am removing that deep financial panic right now. I am providing for you with a generous, overflowing hand. I have placed a very special distinction upon you. You will stand out in a crowded, noisy room because my bright light is shining directly through you. You endured private, agonizing struggles for years. You suffered quietly while others harshly judged your lack of visible progress. Now, I am giving you a loud, undeniable public vindication. I want everyone to see exactly what happens when a person fully trusts in their Creator. Watch how the people who doubted you will suddenly ask you for serious advice. Watch how the exact situations that caused you terrible stress will become the foundation of your greatest success. I invite you to step into this new reality with complete confidence. Do not shrink back. Do not act surprised or embarrassed by your success. You belong in this high place of favor. I prepared this beautiful table specifically for you. Sit down and enjoy the massive feast I have laid out. I am making your rough path completely smooth. I am taking away the heavy friction that used to slow you down. You will move forward with a speed that will completely shock you. My favor is wrapping around you like a thick, warm coat in the middle of a freezing winter. Open your eyes and look at the small details of your day. I am in the green lights when you are running late. I am in the unexpected discount when you are paying a heavy bill. I am making your ordinary days feel completely extraordinary. You will notice a sudden shift in how people treat you. They will treat you with a new, profound respect. They will listen closely when you speak because I am giving your simple words heavy authority. I command you to walk with your shoulders pushed back and your head held extremely high. You are not an imposter. You are not just getting lucky. You are walking directly in the center of my perfect will. I am pouring out my undeniable favor over your family, your finances, your health, and your career. Receive it now with an open, completely grateful heart. Your personal story is now becoming a bright, shining beacon for the completely lost. You thought your deep pain was just a private, embarrassing tragedy, but I am turning it into a massive public triumph. I allowed you to walk through that dark, terrifying valley so you could learn exactly how to guide others out of it. You know exactly what it feels like to be completely broken into pieces. You know the crushing physical weight of severe depression and crippling anxiety. You know the bitter, awful taste of total failure. Because you survived those terrible things, you can now look a hurting person directly in the eye and tell them there is real, tangible hope. I'm asking you to use your voice. Speak out loud about the massive goodness of my grace. Give me the pure glory where the glory is due, because your raw honesty will actually save someone's life. I will bring desperate people across your path who are secretly drowning in the exact same struggles you just conquered. You will see a coworker with tired, sad eyes, and you will instantly recognize that specific look of defeat. You will hear a friend complain about their falling marriage, and you will understand their silent, tearing agony. I command you to step in and share your real journey. Tell them how you cried helplessly on your bathroom floor. Tell them how you wanted to give up completely and walk away from it all. And then, tell them exactly how I reached down and pulled you out of the thick mud. Your personal breakthrough is going to deeply encourage the entire body of believers around you. They desperately need to see a living, breathing proof that my word does not ever return empty. They need to know that I still perform massive, undeniable miracles today in ordinary living rooms and average office buildings. Your success is not just for your own personal comfort. I blessed you heavily so you can become a massive blessing to your entire community. I am creating a powerful, unstoppable ripple effect through your single act of stubborn faith. Your one yes is going to echo through the lives of hundreds of people. You are a walking, breathing testimony of my relentless love. I invite you to sit across a coffee table with someone who is hurting and simply share your honest truth. You do not need fancy, complicated words. You do not need a theology degree. You simply need to say, I was totally lost, and he found me. I was completely broke, and he provided. I was incredibly sick, and he healed my heart. Your simple, raw honesty is a powerful weapon against the creeping darkness. I am incredibly proud of the deep scars you carry. Your scars are the absolute, undeniable proof that you survived the brutal battle. Do not hide your past out of silly shame. I have washed your past completely clean. I am using your painful history as a textbook of my great mercy. I want you to remember that your voice has immense, earth-shaking power. When you speak of my goodness, the heavy iron chains on other people will begin to shatter. Your living testimony is a sharp sword that cuts straight through their deep confusion. I will give you the exact right words to say in those crucial, delicate moments. You will not have to guess or stumble over your sentences. My spirit will fill your mouth with absolute wisdom and profound comfort. I command you to be brave. Do not hold back the beautiful story of your miraculous rescue. Your survival is the beautiful evidence of my existence. Open your mouth and let my love pour out to a desperate, hurting world. You must actively strengthen your spiritual foundations in this brand new season of massive success. I am giving you a very serious, loving warning today. It is incredibly easy to seek me when you have absolutely nothing. It is easy to cry out to me when your bank account is totally empty and your heart is completely broken into pieces. But now, your hands are completely full. Now, your bank account is steadily growing, and your daily life is becoming very comfortable. I see the dangerous, quiet temptation to slowly pull away from me. I see the human tendency to rely on your new, fat paycheck instead of your eternal provider. I command you to build your entire life firmly upon the solid rock of my word, not the shifting, unstable sand of your current success. I want to ensure that your new victory is deeply and permanently rooted in my daily presence. You must aggressively maintain the exact same humble habits that brought you to this beautiful place. Do not stop waking up early to talk to me in the quiet dawn. Do not abandon the desperate, honest prayers you prayed when you were in the dark. Keep your knees firmly planted on the floor. I need you to realize that a grateful, humble heart is the absolute necessity for maintaining your new blessing. If you become arrogant, you will quickly lose your delicate balance. If you start believing that your own clever mind and hard work achieved this massive miracle, the protective walls of your new territory will easily crumble. I invite you to keep your eyes sharply fixed on me, the ultimate giver, and not just stare blindly at the shiny, new gift. I am the true source of your daily oxygen. I am the deep source of your physical strength. Your new job, your new relationship, and your new house cannot save your eternal soul when the dark storms return. And the storms will always return to test your foundation. I am giving you the heavy, beautiful responsibility of securing the strong walls of your new, prosperous territory. You must actively guard your quiet morning time with me. You must fiercely protect your mind from the arrogant pride of life. I will help you build thick, strong walls of unbending integrity around your new finances and your family. I am asking you to remain totally dependent on my gentle leading. When you have a big, scary decision to make, do not just trust your own limited logic. Ask me first. Bring every single choice directly to my throne room. I want to partner with you in your bright success, just like I partnered with you in your painful struggle. I am calling you to a completely new level of deep spiritual maturity. You are no longer fighting just to barely survive. You are now fighting to sustain a massive, generational blessing. I command you to continually examine your own heart. Check your daily hidden motives. Are you doing this to impress ordinary, flawed people, or are you living to truly honor me? I want you to continually choose my quiet presence over any loud, worldly applause. The applause of human beings will fade away very quickly, but my loving approval will last for all of eternity. Stay close to my heart. Keep your spirit completely tender and totally receptive to my quiet voice. Do not let the loud noise of your new achievements drown out my gentle whisper. Walk forward with deep humility, and I will establish your beautiful success forever. Your long, exhausting desert season has officially come to a permanent end. I am telling you to leave those dry, painful places completely behind you for good. You have wandered in the hot, burning sand for years, feeling totally dehydrated and spiritually drained. You know exactly what it feels like to wake up utterly exhausted before the day even begins. You remember the dry, cracked earth of your emotions, where nothing good ever seemed to grow no matter how hard you tried. I watched you thirst for a single drop of relief. And now, I am bringing you directly to the deep, cool well that absolutely never runs dry. I invite you to cup your tired hands and drink deeply of my living, rushing water. I have personally prepared lush, green pastures for your ultimate rest. You do not have to hustle, panic, and grind yourself to the bone anymore. I am completely restoring every single year that the devouring locusts have eaten away. I am giving back the precious time you lost to severe depression and deep anxiety. I am returning the money you lost to bad situations and unfair people. I am violently healing the relationships that were broken during your long wilderness years. I am bringing a massive, supernatural restoration to every dark corner of your tired life. Take a deep, slow breath right now. You smell that? It is the beautiful, distinct fragrance of heavy rain hitting the hot pavement after a brutally long drought. The dark, heavy clouds of my blessing have gathered directly over your home, and the massive downpour has officially begun. You are finally finding your true, safe home in the exact center of my perfect will. I command you to take off your dusty, worn-out desert shoes. You will not need them in this brand new land of overflowing milk and sweet honey. I am gently washing the thick layer of desert dust off your weary feet. I am giving you brand new clothes of vibrant joy and lasting, deep peace. Do not look back at the barren, ugly wasteland you just survived. Do not dwell on the years you felt were completely wasted. I tell you the absolute truth. Nothing was ever wasted in my hands. I used the intense, burning heat of the desert to burn away your selfish desires. I used the brutal, painful thirst to make you crave my presence above absolutely everything else. You are entering a new season of massive, effortless growth. You will plant a very small seed, and it will immediately sprout. You will put in a little bit of effort, and I will multiply it 1,000 times over. I am commanding the soil of your everyday life to be incredibly fertile. You will wake up feeling totally refreshed instead of utterly depleted. You will look at your weekly calendar and feel deep, genuine excitement instead of heavy, crippling dread. I have turned your bitter mourning into joyful, energetic dancing. I want you to fully enjoy the deep comfort of these green pastures. Lie down and rest your anxious, racing mind. Stop constantly looking over your shoulder, waiting for the harsh desert winds to return. I have placed a solid, unbreakable barrier between you and your painful past. The dry season cannot touch you anymore. I am constantly watering your soul with my fresh spirit. Welcome to your promised land, my beautiful child. The brutal drought is over. The endless rain of my favor is here to stay. Your agonizing desert season is permanently over, and the heavy rains of my massive favor have finally fallen upon your life, proving that you actually did it. I am calling you to let your overflowing cup pour directly into the empty hands of those still dying of thirst in their own desolate wastelands. Your financial gift today is the pure, living water that will revive broken spirits and cause barren places to bloom with vibrant joy. Do not hesitate, for there are hurting people right now hanging on by a fragile thread who desperately need to hear this exact word of rescue. As I have promised, he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed, and I am speaking that living reality directly over your newly found green pastures. Fuel this urgent ministry today by offering a super thanks, joining as a member, or giving through the PayPal link in the description. I will supernaturally guard your new territory, ensuring your well never runs dry, and I will bless the work of your hands beyond human comprehension. Give from your place of absolute freedom right now and watch me rapidly expand your borders. Are you still listening to me? Please, do not let the enemy pull your attention away at this exact second. It wounds my heart when my children turn their backs just as I am handing them the heavy keys to their permanent freedom. You have begged me for this breakthrough in the dark, so do not ignore me now that I am answering you in the light. The very next words I am about to speak are the exact blueprint for your future. Do not miss this. Focus your mind and stay right here. You must aggressively overcome the cruel, lying accuser who constantly whispers to your mind. I hear the dark, quiet whispers that tell you this new success is a complete mistake. I know the loud, annoying voice of imposter syndrome that screams in your ear, saying you do not deserve this massive blessing and that you are going to lose it all tomorrow. I command you to violently silence those vicious whispers right now. They are completely and utterly false. My own perfect blood speaks infinitely better things over your entire life. My ultimate sacrifice purchased this total, undeniable freedom for you. You did not earn it by being perfectly flawless. You receive it because I am perfectly good. I am calling you to stand incredibly tall against your harsh internal critics and the loud external doubters. You know the exact people I am talking about. You remember the family members who laughed at your big dreams at the dinner table. You remember the former friends and coworkers who fully expected you to fail miserably. I am placing a thick, heavy armor upon you that kept you totally safe in the brutal, exhausting heat of the battle. You wore my heavy helmet of salvation when your mind was under severe daily attack. You held up my thick shield of faith when the burning, flaming arrows of panic and anxiety flew directly at your chest. Now, I want you to keep that armor securely fastened to your body. The battle has completely changed, but the enemy still desperately wants to steal your profound peace. I am giving you my absolute truth as your ultimate, unbreakable shield. When the lying voice tells you that you are a total fraud, you must loudly declare that you are the fully adopted child of the highest King. I am publicly celebrating your massive victory in the direct presence of your former enemies. I have prepared a lavish, beautiful table for you right in front of the very people who tried to destroy your reputation and steal your joy. I invite you to sit down at this table with a completely peaceful, resting heart. Do not look at them with burning anger or a need for bitter revenge. Simply eat the sweet food I have provided and let your undeniable success be your only loud response. I am actively fighting your remaining battles while you sit quietly and feast on my goodness. I am completely shutting the mouths of the angry lions that tried to swallow you whole. I am breaking the sharp teeth of the vicious rumors spoken against you behind your back. You are completely vindicated by my sovereign, powerful hand. I command you to stop arguing with the dark ghosts of your past. Stop trying to prove your worth to people who are stubbornly determined to misunderstand you. You do not have to defend yourself anymore. I am your fierce, loyal defender. I am your solid, unmoving rock. I want you to confidently raise your voice in pure, loud praise. Let the joyful sound of your worship completely drown out the pathetic, weak whispers of doubt. Every time you thank me, you strike a heavy blow against the dark forces that tried to ruin your life. I am filling your mind with extreme clarity and unwavering confidence. You are absolutely secure in my strong grip. No weapon formed against you will ever prosper. I have sealed your ultimate victory with my own permanent signature. Walk boldly in the bright light of my total acceptance, and let the cruel accuser choke on his own bitter lies. You have won the war because I fought directly by your side. I am looking directly at the deeply rooted history of your family line today. For generations, a dark, heavy cycle of lack, severe limitation, and deep dysfunction has been passed down through your bloodline like a poisonous heirloom. You know exactly what I am talking about. You grew up watching the bitter shouting matches in the kitchen. You saw the crushing weight of poverty keep your parents awake at night. You witnessed the ugly patterns of addiction, sharp anger, and broken marriages that seem entirely normal to everyone around you. But I chose you to be the ultimate circuit breaker. I placed a holy fire inside your belly that absolutely refused to accept that brokenness as your permanent destiny. You looked at the generational curse and boldly declared, "This completely stops with me." And because of your stubborn, relentless faith, your incredible done is fundamentally changing the lives of your children and your children's children. I am completely healing the rotten, diseased roots of your family tree right now. The toxic sap that flowed through your history is being washed away and replaced with the pure, living water of my massive blessing. Look closely at the innocent faces of the children who will come after you. They will never have to carry the incredibly heavy baggage that you were forced to drag around for decades. Because you fought this brutal battle and won, they get to start their lives on completely solid, healthy ground. You are actively creating a beautiful, lasting legacy of unwavering faith for everyone who follows your footsteps. You are establishing a brand new standard of my profound blessing for your entire bloodline. The old story of your family was defined by constant struggling, scraping by, and surviving on the bare minimum. The brand new story of your family, starting directly with you, is defined by overflowing abundance, deep emotional health, and absolute, unbreakable peace. I command you to recognize the massive magnitude of what you have just accomplished. You did not just secure a victory for your own personal comfort. You literally rewrote the future of your entire family name. I am giving you a profound wealth of practical wisdom that you will now pass down to the next generation. You will sit with your family and teach them exactly how to handle money with deep integrity. You will show them how to communicate with genuine love instead of bitter anger. You will teach them how to fiercely trust me when the world turns completely dark. I used your intense suffering to forge a set of heavy, iron keys, and now you are using those keys to unlock the prison doors for your whole family. Take a deep breath and feel the heavy chains of your ancestors finally snapping off your wrists. You are totally free. I invite you to walk confidently into this new reality, knowing that you have successfully shifted the trajectory of history. The spirit of poverty is entirely broken. The spirit of heavy depression is completely shattered. The spirit of endless division is officially dead. I am planting a brand new garden in your family line, and it is going to produce the most beautiful, sweet fruit the world has ever seen. You endured the sharp pain of breaking the cycle, and now your family will forever enjoy the immense, overflowing reward of your brave sacrifice. I want to talk to you directly about the sheer, unyielding grit you have displayed over these last few years. I am actively placing the promised crown of life upon your tired head today because giving up was absolutely never an option for you. I saw the countless mornings when your alarm clock rang, and your entire body physically ached with deep exhaustion. I watched you sit in your parked car before walking into a stressful environment, gripping the steering wheel, taking a deep breath, and forcing yourself to face another difficult day. You were running entirely on empty, running on fumes, completely depleted of all human strength. Yet, you kept putting one heavy foot in front of the other. You survived because my Holy Spirit was the constant, invisible wind beneath your heavy wings. I am immensely proud of your beautiful perseverance. The world tells you to quit when things become slightly uncomfortable. The world tells you to find the easiest, fastest way out of the fire. But you understood that the greatest, most enduring victories require a mixture of intense human grit and massive divine grace. I taught you exactly how to run this marathon and not grow utterly weary. I taught you how to walk through the darkest, scariest valleys and not completely faint from the crippling fear. When your mind screamed at you to throw in the towel, you chose to honor the still, small voice inside your heart. That quiet voice was me, whispering directly into your spirit. Just take one more step, my child. Just hold on for one more hour. I am right here with you. Look down at your hands. Look at the invisible calluses you have built upon your soul. Those calluses are the beautiful, permanent marks of a seasoned, victorious warrior. You did not escape the raging storm. You walked directly through the absolute center of it, and you came out the other side entirely intact. I am rewarding your stubborn refusal to quit. The finish line you are crossing right now is not just a temporary marker. It is the glorious culmination of years of silent, agonizing effort. I know the exact price you paid to get here. I know the friendships you had to leave behind. I know the deep sacrifices you made when nobody else was looking. I command you to stand completely tall today and own your incredible resilience. Do not downplay how incredibly hard this journey was. Acknowledge the brutal struggle, because acknowledging the struggle heavily magnifies the absolute beauty of this massive victory. You possess a rare, beautiful strength that cannot be bought with money or taught in a classroom. It can only be forged in the hot, burning furnace of real-life adversity. I invite you to deeply breathe in the sweet air of your hard-earned success. You ran the race with brilliant endurance. You kept the faith when it made absolutely no logical sense. You fought the good fight, and now I am handing you the ultimate, permanent prize. You are completely victorious. I command you to completely stop what you are doing right now and actively celebrate this holy, monumental moment. I know exactly how your mind works. You are deeply conditioned to constantly look for the very next problem to solve. You are entirely used to rushing rapidly from one chaotic crisis to the next, completely ignoring your victories because you are totally terrified of the next disaster. I am telling you to break that anxious habit immediately. I want you to enter my beautiful courts with loud, unapologetic thanksgiving. I want you to use the pure sound of your joyful praise as a massive, heavy weapon against the dark forces that tried to destroy you. Do not let this incredible milestone pass by like just another ordinary day on the calendar. You must take the deliberate time to completely savor the sweet, rich taste of this massive success. I want you to physically smile. I want you to laugh out loud until your stomach physically hurts. I want you to dance in your living room in the absolute, total freedom of my profound love. For years, your home was filled with the heavy, stifling silence of deep worry and quiet crying. Today, I am entirely changing the soundtrack of your daily life. The music of pure, unadulterated joy is now playing loudly in your rooms. I invite my Holy Spirit to be the absolute center of your massive feast. Call your close friends. Gather your loving family. Sit around a table filled with good food and loudly declare exactly what I have done for you. Do not be shy about your massive breakthrough. Your celebration is an act of pure, holy worship. When you openly enjoy the beautiful blessings I give you, it brings a massive smile to my face. I am not a harsh, angry taskmaster who only wants you to work until your bones turn to dust. I am your loving Heavenly Father, and my greatest delight is watching my precious child open their gifts with wide-eyed, absolute wonder. I want you to deliberately push away the nagging guilt that tells you that you do not deserve to be this happy. The accuser wants you to stay completely miserable, but I am commanding you to be wildly, loudly joyful. Let your deep gratitude overflow from your mouth like a rushing, unstoppable river. Let your pure worship be your immediate, powerful response to my overwhelming goodness. Every time you smile, every time you laugh, and every time you say thank you, you are firmly securing the heavy walls of your new blessing. Your celebration totally confuses the enemy. It proves that his dark, heavy attacks completely failed. So, lift up your hands. Lift up your voice. Embrace the sheer, total joy of this exact moment. You survived the brutal winter, and now it is time to thoroughly enjoy the warm, beautiful, endless summer I have provided for you. I am permanently elevating you to brand new heights today, and with this massive increase comes a beautiful, profound responsibility. I have deliberately placed heavy resources, deep influence, and incredible favor directly into your waiting hands. Now, I am calling you to manage this new season with absolute, flawless integrity. The greatest danger you face right now is not total failure. The greatest danger is arrogant, blinding pride. I command you to stay deeply, completely humble in the direct midst of your massive success. Always remember exactly where you came from. Remember the cold, dark valley where I originally found you. When you remember your deep need for me in the dark, you will never try to replace me in the bright light. I am calling you to become a wide, open conduit for my massive love to flow completely through. Do not become a stagnant, selfish reservoir that only hoards the blessing for itself. I gave you this incredible breakthrough so you could reach down and physically pull others up the steep mountain behind you. When you see a coworker struggling with the exact same heavy tasks you used to cry over, I want you to step in and offer your gentle, wise help. When you see a young person drowning in the exact same deep financial panic you just escaped, I want you to be the generous, loving hand that provides total relief. I invite you to continuously seek my direct wisdom for your very next steps. The rules of this new, high level are completely different from the rules of your old, broken season. You need my sharp, clear discernment to navigate the complex after of a massive miracle. Do not assume that your own clever logic will be enough to sustain this heavy territory. You must actively plant new, healthy seeds from your current massive harvest. Do not eat everything you have just received. Take a portion of your new time, your new money, and your new energy, and heavily invest it directly back into my eternal kingdom. I am deeply trusting you with this massive assignment. I chose you for this specific promotion because I knew your heart was finally soft enough to handle the heavy weight of true success. I command you to treat people with profound kindness, especially those who can do absolutely nothing for you in return. Keep your spiritual eyes completely open. I will bring divine, strategic appointments across your daily path. I will show you exactly where to heavily invest your newly found strength. As long as you keep your hands completely open, I will continually fill them with fresh, new abundance. Walk forward with deep confidence, but walk with an incredibly bowed heart. You are my chosen, trusted vessel. Now, go out into the hurting world and deeply distribute the massive miracle I just poured into your own life. I have trusted you with this massive promotion, proving to the world that your long-awaited victory has actually happened. And now, I ask you to become the wide, open conduit through which my love fiercely flows to rescue the lost, the broken, and the forgotten. Take the golden wheat from your overflowing storehouse and scatter it across the hungry nations, igniting a wildfire of hope in the darkest corners of the earth. I am declaring over you, honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce, so your barns will completely burst with new wine. This is your holy moment to actively shift the eternal destiny of another soul before the clock runs out on their life. Partner with this divine broadcast immediately through a super thanks, a channel membership, or the PayPal link in the video description. I will drastically multiply your resources, violently rebuke the devourer for your sake, and wrap your entire family in unbreakable financial peace. Act on this divine urge right now. Plant your sacred seed and distribute my massive miracle to the world. Look directly at me. Do not let the sudden, shallow distractions of your day steal this profound, sacred encounter. It completely breaks my heart to see you trade my eternal, life-saving wisdom for a cheap, temporary distraction. We are doing deep, permanent surgery on your soul today. Do not walk out of the operating room before the profound healing is completely finished. I am asking for your absolute, undivided attention. Lean in closer. Keep listening. I am completely rewiring your exhausted nervous system today. I am officially giving you the quietness of a settled soul that has finally found its absolute, permanent answer. For years, you lived in a constant, terrifying state of fight or flight. Your mind was always racing at 100 miles an hour, constantly calculating the absolute worst-case scenarios. You woke up at 3 in the morning with a tight, painful chest, staring blindly at the dark ceiling, totally consumed by deep anxiety about bills, relationships, and your unknown future. I am commanding that terrifying midnight panic to leave your bedroom forever. I am replacing it right now with a profound, heavy peace that absolutely surpasses all human understanding. I invite you to completely rest in the absolute assurance of my divine, heavy protection. You do not have to constantly look over your shoulder anymore. You do not have to fiercely defend yourself against every minor criticism. The massive struggle is officially over, and the stillness that follows a great, monumental achievement has finally arrived. I want you to feel the deep, physical relaxation in your tight muscles. Unclench your sore jaw. Drop your heavy, raised shoulders. Let the soft, warm blanket of my eternal presence completely cover your tired mind. You are absolutely safe. You are totally secure. I am your thick, heavy shield, and absolutely nothing can penetrate the strong walls I have built around your beautiful life. You must actively guard your completely healed heart against the subtle, dangerous pride of life. As you enjoy the massive fruits of your labor, you must consciously remember that I am your ultimate, eternal reward. The money in your bank account is wonderful, but it cannot hold you when you cry. The new job title is excellent, but it cannot offer you eternal salvation. I am the true, deep prize of your long journey. The greatest miracle you have received is not the physical provision. It is the deep, intimate, unbreakable relationship we have forged in the hot fires of your adversity. Keep me at the absolute, dead center of your daily focus. I promise you that tonight, You are going to sleep incredibly soundly in the dark, safe shadow of my massive wings. You will close your eyes, and your busy mind will immediately find total, quiet rest. You will not dream of terrible disasters or looming failures. You will dream of bright, green pastures and deep, still waters. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you will feel completely refreshed, energized, and utterly ready to enjoy the beautiful day I have made specifically for you. The war in your mind has been completely won. The harsh, noisy battlefield is finally quiet. Breathe in the deep, sweet air of your total victory. Step fully into the profound, lasting peace I have lovingly prepared for your mind, your body, and your eternal spirit. I am bringing you into a massive new arena today, and I must equip you with the exact tools you need to survive and thrive here. You must understand that new levels will always require completely new depths of my spirit. The basic faith that got you out of the deep valley is not the same advanced wisdom you will need to successfully manage this high mountain peak. When you were just trying to survive, your prayers were simple cries for immediate help. Now that you are walking in massive abundance, your prayers must shift into requests for sharp, clear discernment. I am telling you to actively ask for the mind of Christ every single morning before you even step out of bed. You are going to face entirely new challenges that look incredibly confusing. You will have to navigate complex relationships, heavy financial decisions, and massive opportunities that could either build your legacy or completely derail your focus. I invite you to listen to my voice with a brand new level of intense focus. In the past, my voice was a loud shot pulling you back from the edge of a dangerous cliff. In this new season of success, my voice will often be a quiet, gentle nudge pulling you away from a bad business deal or a toxic friendship. The noise of your new success will be incredibly loud. People will constantly demand your time, your energy, and your resources. If you do not actively carve out silent, uninterrupted time with me, you will quickly become entirely lost in the loud noise of your own victory. I command you to silence your phone, shut your office door, and simply sit in my quiet presence. Do not let the busy schedule of your massive breakthrough rob you of the deep intimacy we built during your painful breakdown. You have gained an incredible amount of heavy maturity through this brutal transition. I watched you grow from a frightened child into a strong, capable warrior. Now, I need you to apply that hard-earned maturity directly to your daily actions. Walk with absolute, unbending integrity in your new, high places. When nobody is watching your financial transactions, choose radical honesty. When you have the power to easily crush a competitor or silence a critic, choose profound, shocking grace. The true test of your character is not how you handle complete poverty. The true test is how you handle massive, overflowing power. I am giving you the deep ability to properly navigate the complicated after of a massive miracle. Many people desperately beg for a breakthrough, but they completely destroy it once they receive it because they lack the spiritual maturity to maintain the blessing. I will not let that happen to you. I am actively teaching you how to budget your new finances, how to protect your emotional energy, and how to set heavy, healthy boundaries with demanding people. Ask me for daily wisdom, and I will pour it over your mind like cool, refreshing water. I will give you the exact right words to say in high-pressure meetings. I will show you exactly who you can deeply trust and who you need to carefully avoid. Step boldly into this new level of authority, completely confident that I am giving you the exact blueprint to sustain this beautiful victory for the rest of your life. I command you to completely renovate your internal identity today. For years, you have subconsciously introduced yourself to the world through the heavy lens of your pain. You have worn the terrible labels of victim, struggler, and survivor like a dark, heavy coat that you refuse to take off. You grew so incredibly comfortable with your deep brokenness that you forgot how to function as a fully whole person. When someone asked how you were doing, your immediate response was always a heavy sigh and a long list of your terrible anxieties. Today, I am entirely stripping those ugly, false labels off your chest. I am throwing that dark, heavy coat directly into the fire. I command you to start seeing yourself exactly as I see you. You are a massive, unstoppable conqueror. You must aggressively let go of the comforting excuse of being the underdog. You are no longer the poor, helpless victim waiting for someone to casually throw you a life raft. I have already pulled you out of the freezing water, placed your feet on solid rock, and handed you the heavy keys to the kingdom. I invite you to fully embrace the massive authority of a completely restored child of the highest king. Walk into your workplace tomorrow not as an anxious employee terrified of making a mistake, but as a confident leader who carries the deep presence of the living God. Speak directly to your massive problems with the absolute certainty of someone who has actually seen my power tear down iron walls. Your new confidence is not based on cheap, empty arrogance. It is entirely born of your raw, brutal experience with my undeniable power. You know exactly what I can do because you have actually lived it. When a new crisis suddenly pops up on your radar, you do not have to panic and completely lose your mind anymore. You can simply look at the problem, smile, and say, "My God handled the impossible yesterday, and He will easily handle this today." I am totally rewiring how your brain processes sudden stress. You will no longer shrink back into a defensive posture. You will stand tall, square your shoulders, and face the challenge head-on. I want you to walk proudly in the bright, warm light of my total acceptance. Stop apologizing for taking up space in the room. Stop making yourself small so that insecure people will feel more comfortable around you. I created you to shine brightly, to speak loudly, and to take up massive territory in this dark world. I am placing a beautiful, heavy robe of pure righteousness upon your shoulders right now. Wear it with profound honor. You did not earn this clean robe by being perfect. I gave it to you because I fiercely love you. Look directly into the mirror today and say out loud, "I am deeply loved. I am entirely capable. I am completely victorious." Believe those words with every ounce of your being, because they are the absolute, unchangeable truth of your new life. I am pouring out a massive, spiritual refreshing over your completely exhausted soul today. The long, brutal battle is finally won, but I see that you are still carrying the heavy, deep fatigue of the war. Your muscles are physically tense. Your mind feels incredibly cloudy, like you are trying to think through a thick fog. You have been running entirely on dangerous adrenaline for so long that your body has completely forgotten how to actually relax. I am commanding that lingering, deep exhaustion to leave your physical body right now. I am breathing my fresh, vital oxygen directly into your tired, depleted spirit. Feel my breath actively revitalizing every single cell in your body, waking you up from the heavy coma of your long survival mode. I invite you to be filled entirely anew with my powerful Holy Ghost. You need a fresh, massive anointing for the beautiful days that are coming. The stale, old oil from yesterday is not going to sustain the massive fire of tomorrow. I am washing your anxious, cluttered mind completely clean by the pure water of my living word. I am scrubbing away the dirty, toxic residue of all the terrible lies you absorbed during your dark season. Every cruel word that was spoken over you, every harsh rejection you suffered, every deeply embarrassing failure, I am violently washing it all down the drain. Your mind is becoming a clear, clean, quiet room where my spirit can comfortably dwell. I am completely renewing your physical and emotional strength like the powerful wings of an eagle. You have been crawling on your hands and knees through the sharp gravel for years, completely scraping your soul to the bone. Now, I am lifting you forcefully off the ground. I am giving you the massive ability to easily soar above the petty, annoying dramas that use to instantly trigger your severe anxiety. You will look down at the frustrating situations at your job or the irritating conflicts in your family, and they will suddenly look incredibly small. You will not engage in bitter, pointless arguments anymore, because eagles do not waste their precious time fighting with tiny, noisy crows. I command you to deliberately cast away the heavy, choking dust of your old, painful journey. Take a long, hot spiritual shower in my presence today. Do not drag the bitter resentment of the past into the bright beauty of your present reality. Forgive the people who hurt you, not because they deserve your forgiveness, but because you absolutely deserve to be totally free from their toxic poison. Let it go entirely. I am handing you a brand new, blank notebook for this fresh season. The pages are crisp, clean, and completely unwritten. Sit down in my quiet presence, take a deep, satisfying breath, and allow my intense, refreshing peace to settle deep into your bones. You are completely clean. You are entirely restored. You are fully ready for the incredible, bright morning. I want you to fully realize that this incredible, massive victory is just one single chapter in a very thick, beautiful book I am actively writing about your life. You are tempted to think that you have reached the absolute peak of the mountain and that there is nowhere left to climb. But I am telling you today that this massive breakthrough is simply the beautiful base camp for your next great ascent. I command you to look forward to the greater things that I have explicitly promised you. Do not become completely stagnant in your current success. Do not build a comfortable little house on this victory and refuse to ever move forward again. I am an entirely dynamic, moving God, and I want you to keep walking boldly right beside me. I am showing you the deep, undeniable interconnectedness of every single step you have ever taken. Look closely at your winding, confusing history. You used to completely despise that awful, low-paying job you had 5 years ago, but now you clearly see how it perfectly taught you the exact skills you needed for this massive promotion today. You completely hated the bitter pain of that broken relationship, but now you realize it fiercely protected you from marrying the wrong person and destroying your entire future. I have perfectly woven every single thread of your joy, your deep pain, your total failures, and your massive successes into a stunning, flawless tapestry. Absolutely nothing was wasted. My absolute faithfulness has been the one constant, solid rock throughout your entire, turbulent timeline. I invite you to start preparing your heart right now for your very next divine assignment. The skills you mastered in the dark valley are going to be heavily utilized in this bright new season. I am going to place you in rooms with highly influential people who desperately need the raw, grounded wisdom you possess. I am going to give you massive projects that will directly impact the lives of thousands of hurting people. You are no longer just fighting for your own daily survival. You are now heavily partnering with me to violently pull others out of their dark, burning buildings. Feel the deep, genuine excitement of walking hand in hand with the eternal Creator. You do not have to constantly worry about how the overall story ends, because I already hold the final, finished draft directly in my hands. I know the exact plans I have for you, and they are plans to aggressively prosper you, to give you a bright, massive future overflowing with completely unshakable hope. Stop aggressively trying to control the minute details of tomorrow. Stop trying to force open doors that I have deliberately locked for your own protection. Simply take the next single, obedient step that is lit up right in front of you. Trust the master author. I am writing a spectacular, breathtaking story with your life, and the absolute best chapters are still waiting to be read. You are stepping out of the valley and realizing that your incredible triumph has truly happened. But this is just the beginning of my spectacular masterpiece. I am personally inviting you to fund the next chapter of this global mission, carrying my voice to desperate hearts who mistakenly think their story is already over. Your generous seed is the heavy, sacred oil that keeps the lamps burning bright, piercing the thick, suffocating darkness of this lost generation. Hear my living decree today. God loves a cheerful giver, and I am able to make all grace abound to you, so that having all sufficiency in all things, you may abound in every good work. The world is crying out for undeniable truth in this exact hour, and your immediate action is the precise answer to their hidden, agonizing prayers. Support this vital work today by giving a super thanks, becoming a dedicated member, or using the PayPal link in the description below. I will open the massive floodgates of heaven over your life, raining down unprecedented favor and supernatural connections that money simply cannot buy. Give generously in this holy moment and permanently secure your glorious place in this eternal harvest. We are incredibly close to the final summit, my beloved. Do not stop climbing now. It deeply disappoints me when you surrender your focus right before the glorious finish line. You have come far too far and survived far too much to simply walk away from my presence before I give you the final seal of your victory. I am about to hand you the ultimate strategy for your brand new life. Anchor your heart to my words for these final moments. Your glorious tomorrow depends entirely on what I am telling you today. I command you to actively build a heavy, unbreakable lifestyle of pure gratitude starting right this very second. You must deliberately remember your incredibly humble beginnings so that your heart remains entirely soft and fully grounded. I want you to mentally walk back to that tiny, cramped apartment where you used to cry yourself to sleep over a stack of unpaid bills. I want you to remember exactly what it felt like to have your debit card loudly declined at the grocery store, forcing you to put food back on the shelf with burning embarrassment. Do not ever forget the sharp, bitter taste of that deep desperation. When you keep the vivid memory of your hardest days close to your heart, the bright reality of your current abundance will constantly feel like a massive, mind-blowing miracle. I invite you to aggressively acknowledge every single, tiny mercy I place along your daily path. Do not just thank me for the massive, earth-shattering miracles. Thank me for the small, quiet things. Thank me for the hot cup of coffee you get to drink in complete peace. Thank me for the reliable car that starts up in the cold morning. Thank me for the simple fact that your lungs are effortlessly pulling in oxygen right now without you having to think about it. The massive power of a simple, genuine thank you is the exact fuel that will actively sustain your deep joy. Gratitude is not just a polite habit. It is a violent, heavy weapon against the dark forces of depression and toxic entitlement. I want you to live in a constant, perpetual state of internal praise. When you are stuck in terrible traffic, do not complain about the delay. Thank me for the quiet time to simply think and breathe. When your boss hands you a difficult, annoying assignment, do not roll your eyes. Thank me that you actually have a solid job to complain about. I command you to start recognizing my hidden hand in the tiny, daily coincidences that you usually ignore. That perfect parking spot was not just random luck. That sudden, encouraging text from an old friend exactly when you were feeling down was not a mere accident. I orchestrated those tiny details simply because I love to see you smile. Gratitude is the heavy, golden key that absolutely ensures the massive door of my blessing stays permanently open. If you become a bitter, entitled person who constantly demands more while completely ignoring what you already have, the flow of my abundance will severely slow down. But if you become a person who loudly praises me for a single dollar, I will confidently trust you with millions. I am calling you to deeply radically shift your daily perspective. Stop focusing your energy on the tiny, annoying things that are going wrong, and start violently magnifying the thousands of massive things that are going right. Say it right now, out loud, wherever you are. Thank you. Let those two powerful words completely reshape your entire reality. Walk through the rest of your life with open, deeply grateful hands, and watch how I continuously fill them until they completely overflow. I command you to clear the heavy fog from your mind today. Look at how easily you get distracted by the loud, flashing lights of the busy world around you. You stare at your screens, you constantly scroll through the endless feeds of other people's lives, and you allow their noisy, chaotic opinions to entirely derail your daily peace. I am actively removing those heavy, useless distractions of your past right now. I am violently sweeping the unnecessary clutter straight out of your mental room. I want to massively sharpen your specific vision for your bright future. You do not need a complicated, exhausting, 10-step plan to survive in this new season. You simply need the quiet, beautiful simplicity of following my gentle leading. I am clearing the path directly in front of your feet so you can see exactly where to step next. I invite you to radically prioritize my kingdom in the very center of your brand new success. It is incredibly easy to lose your sharp focus when your pockets are suddenly full and your calendar is completely packed with exciting events. I see the quiet temptation to rely on your own clever mind now that the crisis is over. But I am asking you to keep your heart entirely pure and your spiritual eye completely single. Do not chase after 50 different shiny opportunities all at once. When you try to chase everything, you end up catching absolutely nothing. I will highlight the one specific, golden door you need to walk through, and I will firmly close the rest to keep you totally safe. I command you to trust my editing process in your life. If I remove a distraction, let it go immediately. Walk confidently on the straight, solid path I have specifically laid out for your life. You used to wander around in dark, confusing circles, second-guessing every single minor decision you made. You used to ask a dozen different people for their flawed advice before you ever thought to ask me. I am entirely changing your default reaction today. When a confusing situation arises at your job or in your family, I want you to come directly to my quiet throne room first. Ask me for absolute clarity, and I will give it to you instantly. I am giving you a razor-sharp focus that will effortlessly cut through the heavy noise of your daily life. You must protect this new clarity with everything you have. Do not let toxic, chaotic people drag you back into their endless drama. You have worked far too hard to get to this beautiful place of peace to give it away to someone who refuses to heal. I command you to set firm, loving boundaries around your time and your mental energy. Keep your eyes locked entirely on me. When you focus solely on my face, the terrifying storms around you simply fade into the background. I am the bright lighthouse cutting through your dark night. Keep walking toward my light. Keep your motives completely clean, and I will ensure that your massive success continues to multiply day after day. I am giving you the absolute permission to finally stop striving today. I see the deep, ingrained panic hiding inside your chest that constantly tells you to keep hustling, keep grinding, and keep working yourself into the ground. Your mind whispers a terrible lie. It tells you that if you stop running for even one single second, you will lose everything I just gave you. I command you to completely drop that heavy, exhausting mindset right this very second. You do not have to frantically defend your new territory because I am the one violently defending it for you. Accept my beautiful, heavy grace as absolutely sufficient for your daily needs. I am not an angry boss demanding more overtime. I am your loving Father demanding that you finally take a breath. I am inviting you to find a deep, permanent Sabbath directly in your tired soul. True rest is not just taking a quick nap on the couch while your mind continues to race with endless anxiety. True rest is the profound, quiet confidence of knowing that the entire universe is completely secure in my strong hands. I want you to let me take the complete lead in this brand new season. Take your tightly clenched hands off the steering wheel of your life. Slide over to the passenger seat and let me drive. I know the exact destination, and I know the absolute safest, most beautiful route to get us there. You can stop frantically checking the map. I command you to recharge your depleted spirit down at my feet. You have given so much of your energy to fixing problems, helping ungrateful people, and just trying to survive the brutal week. Now, your internal battery is flashing a bright red warning light. I am plugging you directly into my eternal, unlimited power source. I want you to sit in a quiet room, drink your coffee or your tea in total silence, and feel zero guilt about doing absolutely nothing. The world places massive value on constant, noisy production, but I place massive value on your quiet, resting heart. Your worth is not determined by how many difficult tasks you can cross off a list today. Your worth is eternally set in the heavy, shedding blood of my own son. Embrace the quiet confidence of being fully, completely loved just as you are. You do not have to perform for me to earn your keep. The massive miracle you are holding in your hands right now is a free gift, not a paycheck you had to fiercely earn. I command you to let your shoulders completely drop. Let the deep tension melt out of your neck and your back. Sleep deeply through the entire night without waking up in a cold sweat. The war is completely over. The vicious enemies that chased you are entirely gone. Step out of your heavy armor, put on comfortable clothes of profound peace, and allow my gentle spirit to rock you into a state of total, unbroken divine rest. I want you to completely experience the massive, unending depth of my pure affection for you today. You spend so much of your precious time on earth trying to earn the cheap, fragile love of ordinary, broken people. You twist yourself into painful, uncomfortable knots trying to be entirely perfect so that others will simply accept you and invite you to their tables. I command you to stop performing right now. You do not have to put on a brave mask for me. You are already my greatest, most valuable treasure. I take immense, explosive delight in seeing you beautifully succeed. When you finally smile after a long season of crying, the entire throne room of heaven deeply rejoices with you. I want you to fully understand the unconditional, unbreakable nature of my eternal covenant with you. Human beings will love you conditionally. They will walk away the moment you make a bad mistake or the moment you are no longer useful to them. But my love is an absolute, heavy anchor that drops directly to the bottom of your darkest ocean and holds you totally secure. Even when you mess up, even when you doubt my timing, and even when you angrily yell at the sky in pure frustration, my massive love for you does not shift a single inch. I do not angrily turn my back on you. I step closer. I wrap my thick, safe arms directly around your shaking shoulders. I invite you to crawl up into the warm, safe lap of your Heavenly Father today. Think of a loving parent watching their tiny child take their very first, wobbly steps. The parent does not scream in anger when the child falls down. The parent cheers wildly for the beautiful effort and gently picks them right back up. That is exactly how I view your daily life. I am wildly cheering for you. I am incredibly proud of the brave steps you are taking. You are entirely, forever safe in my eternal care. The harsh, bitter world outside may swirl with terrible chaos and dark news, but inside my loving arms, you are completely untouched by the storm. I command you to stop doubting your immense worth. Do not let the cruel, lying voice of your past tell you that you are fundamentally unlovable. That voice is a liar straight from the dark pit. I created your specific laugh. I designed the exact way your mind works. I numbered every single hair on your head, and I consider every tiny detail of your life to be utterly fascinating. Let my boundless, rushing river of love wash over your tired soul today. It will violently flesh out the deep insecurities and the painful rejections you have carried for decades. You are deeply wanted. You are highly chosen. You are fiercely, eternally loved by the Creator of the entire universe, and absolutely nothing can ever sever that incredible bond. Listen closely to my final, absolute word over this specific, brutal season of your life. I want you to hear my deep, booming voice of approval completely resonate inside your very heart. Well done, my good and incredibly faithful child. You actually did it. You finished the terrible task, you ran the exhausting race, and you kept the fragile faith when the entire logical world told you to just quit. Feel the ultimate, heavy piece of finishing this monumental assignment. The long chapter of weeping, struggling, and fighting for your bare survival is officially, permanently closed. I am stamping the heavy word finished across the difficult pages of your recent past. I am giving you my absolute, unbreakable promise today. I will never, ever leave you, and I will never completely forsake you. As you step boldly out of the familiar valley and into the massive, intimidating fullness of your new destiny, I am walking directly beside you. You are not stepping into this bright future alone. I am going before you to violently clear the heavy brush, and the massive glory of the Lord is acting as your permanent rear guard. Absolutely nothing from your dark past can sneak up behind you and drag you backward. The heavy iron bridge between your painful history and your beautiful future has been completely burned down. You can only move forward now. I invite you to step fully into the eternal now with me. Stop constantly looking backward with deep regret, wishing you had done things differently. Stop constantly looking entirely forward with deep anxiety, terrified of what might happen next year. I command you to plant your feet firmly in this exact, present moment. This moment is completely perfect. Look at the massive victory you are currently standing inside. Look at the undeniable fact that you survived every single thing that actively tried to completely destroy you. You are still breathing. You are still standing. You are entirely victorious. I am placing a new, heavy crown of lasting joy directly upon your head. The tears are wiped away. The dark, terrifying night has completely surrendered to the brilliant, warm morning. Take my hand. Hold it tightly. We are moving forward together into a season of unbelievable miracles, incredible peace, and overflowing abundance. You trusted me in the dark, and now you get to fully enjoy me in the blinding light. Walk fiercely into your new territory. Claim your beautiful inheritance. You did it, my beloved child. It has actually happened. Your brand new life begins right now. You have crossed the finish line, heard my absolute approval, and you know deep in your bones that it has actually happened. I am asking you to turn around and throw a massive, unbreakable lifeline to those who are still sinking in the deep, violent waters you just successfully escaped. Let your gratitude become a roaring, unquenchable fire that burns away the heavy iron chains of captivity for millions of hurting people across the globe. I speak this eternal promise directly over your bank account today. Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. The harvest is fiercely ripe right now, and I am urgently calling you to fund the reapers before the sudden, dark storm returns. Stand with this ministry permanently by sending a super thanks, joining the membership family, or planting a seed through the PayPal link in the description. I will permanently seal your wealth, fiercely guard your family line, and establish a generational blessing of absolute peace and prosperity in your home. Obey my voice right now. Sow your beautiful seed of thanksgiving, and let us violently conquer the darkness together. Amen.